Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Thabo Prof. Tekisho. I have been granted the extreme honor of being your host and MC, and with your permission, before we get into the program, I would like to observe protocol and join me in acknowledging the following distinguished guests. Mr. Mzila Mthenjane, CEO of the Minerals Council, Professor Thuli Madonsela, Chair of Social Justice at Stellenbosch University and former public protector, Mr. Manas Fourie, CEO of Mines Rescue, Mr. Mthokozisi Zondi, Deputy Chief Inspector of Mines, DMPR, Mr. Thabo Masike, Chairman of the Board for CTC. Please allow me as well, ladies and gents, to acknowledge our heads of industry, of associations, Ms. Mzila Mthenjane, President of the SACHRA, Mr. George Hatting, President of SACMA or SACMA, Mr. Darrell Christie, President of the SACEA, the CTC Board of Directors, our event sponsors, industry partners, and organized labor, and of course, our CTC staff, students, alumni, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. Folks, today is indeed an auspicious occasion. We are celebrating the 60 years of CTC, an institution that has done amazing things, born out of the need of artisanal skills in the mining industry and beyond. They've gone on to offer amazing workshops, trainings, programs, and empowered so many to not only fuel the industry, but beyond as well. Folks, in my culture, we start every single program with a little bit of prayer. Are we in agreement? So if we agree on that, may I please invite Pastor Jeremy onto the stage to just open today's proceedings in prayer. Shall we welcome him with a massive round of applause, please?
Well, it is a blessing to be here this morning, and thank you for the opportunity to come. Had the privilege of being at CTC and preaching assemblies and helping the students for over 17 years now. And it has been a blessing to see what God has done. There's a verse in the Bible. I won't preach, all right? Relax. They told me there's not enough time for that. There's a verse in the book of Deuteronomy, however, where God says that He has set before us life and death, blessing and cursing. And life is about choices. Choices both in our individual life, but I believe also choices as companies as to the direction we'll take. And I believe that CTC is a testimony to what God has done in many different ways. Well, thank you for being here this morning. Let's close our eyes and let's open in a word of prayer and ask God's blessing. Father, we do thank you that we can gather here freely this morning. We thank you for the privileges of our country. We thank you for the life that you have given each and every one of us and the opportunities and your blessings that you have bestowed upon us. We thank you most of all for our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and the opportunity of salvation and the forgiveness of sin. We thank you for the many, many years of CTC and so many different people that have played a part in, Lord, its function and its achievements. And as we gather today to celebrate those, we thank you most of all for your continued hand of blessing, and we pray that you would continue to bless CTC and everyone involved in it for many years to come. We thank you now in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you so much, Pastor Jeremy. Perhaps a round of applause not only for Pastor Jeremy, but also to extend our gratitude indeed for this wonderful occasion. And as Pastor Jeremy mentions in the prayer, it is, after all, a wonderful celebration. Folks, with that, we are now going to get into our official program, and it gives me great privilege now to welcome onto the stage to deliver the official opening, Mr. Thabo Masike, the Chairman of the Board for CTC. Shall we welcome him with a big round of applause?
Sanibonani, Dumelang, good morning. Is it still morning? Okay. Goeie môre. 10 minutes to midday, so we're still good on time. Thank you very much, Program Director. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, good morning once again. It is my great pleasure and honor to welcome you all to Colliery Training Center's 60 years celebration, themed 60 years of excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, 60 years is not just a mean feat. It's not mean feat. 60 years. When I went through the profile of CTC and I realized that CTC is 60 years, I got a shock. I realized that, gee, CTC is older than I am. So probably it's very older than most of us sitting here. Right. It is quite it's not a mean feat, colleagues. It is a very, very long time. And I'm sure it does deserve a round of applause, doesn't it? It has been a very long time indeed. Colleagues, it is quite a milestone. It reminds me of anything. You know, if you work with some of these associations and organizations, they'll tell you that something that is 60 years and old, it needs to be declared a heritage site. So it's possible we might have to declare CTC a heritage site. But be that as it may, colleagues, we are gathered here today to celebrate and to engage on an occasion that marks a significant milestone for all of us in the mining industry. I extend a warm welcome to each one of you, especially our guest speaker, Professor Thuli Madonsela, who is Chairperson of Social Justice at the Stellenbosch University and former public protector, whose presence today adds a remarkable value to our celebration and function. This event, 60 Years of Excellence Celebration, provides us a platform for sharing ideas, fostering relationships, and celebrating a skills development journey which has been safely traveled by all relevant stakeholders. This day is not just about celebration itself, but about the opportunity it presents for us to build connections, to know and to understand what CTC is all about and what it can offer to companies and external interested parties outside of the mining industry. Your presence here today, ladies and gentlemen, whether as speakers, organizers, attendees, or recipients of awards, is what will transform this celebration into a remarkable event. Ladies and gentlemen, without further much ado, I wish I could go on and on about CTC. However, let me once again extend a hearty welcome to all present here today and urge you to please enjoy this day with us. Ke a leboga. Thank you.
And I do love and appreciate that you pointed out the theme being 60 years of excellence. Because folks, can we agree, it's all good and well to do something long. It's all good and well to enjoy long service. It's another to enjoy 60 years of consistent excellence. Am I right? So I think that should deserve another round of applause, please. And now to introduce our first speaker, let's invite onto the stage Mr. Mhlonipheni Buthelezi, who's the General Manager of Seriti Kuthala Colliery. A big round of applause, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You know, there's one thing that is so special in life. It's called technology. But because I've been around for some time, I'm always coming prepared. Wake up. Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to give a keynote address. My job is very, very simple. I'm introducing a leader, and I normally call him is a very decorated leader. He's currently the CEO of Minerals Council of South Africa, and this is the organization that is sitting with membership that is over 480,000 people across the mining industry. He has been there for over 2 years as CEO of Minerals Councils, and he's been bringing a wealth of experience and shared vision of growth and positive impact in the mining sector in South Africa, and as well as the broader southern region. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about a leader who have represent the Minerals Councils on the board of Mining Industry Association of South Africa, and it is famously known as MIASA. And previously, he was the executive head for the stakeholder affairs at Exxaro Resources Limited. He has more than 30 years of combined experience in the resources business. I'm talking about gold, I'm talking about platinum, I'm talking about coal, as well as some investment banking at that corporate level. As we speak today, he is the current chairman of the board of the Impact Catalyst, and is the former chairman of Wits University Mining Engineers Association. And he is also the former president of South African Institute of Mining and Metallurgy. We normally call it SAIM. He held various board positions and non-executive director in various entities, including Pamosi Gold, including Fraser Alexander, Impact Catalyst, Merafe Resources, Student Support Program. He was on the Exxaro Executive Committee, and where he was intimately involved in stakeholder engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't know the speaker. You must wait until I'm finished. I'm talking about the leader who holds a BSc degree in mining engineering from University of Witwatersrand. He has completed various leadership development training, including management development program from Graduate Institute of Management and Technology. We normally call that GIMT. He further went on again to graduate in leadership program with GIPS and Advanced Management Program, that is AMP, with INSEAD. His leadership acumen has greatly benefited his current role, drawing on his experience in building and retaining harmonious but yet robust relationships with diverse stakeholder groupings, and further developing successful, sustainable impact approaches. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Mzila Mthenjane on stage. A round of applause for him.
I know that feeling when technology fails you at the time that you need it the most. And I don't have any backup today. But thank you very much for that introduction. And ladies and gentlemen, Program Director, Proverb, Chairman of the Board, Thabo Masike, and your board members present here today, the CEO, Ms. Bola, and the CTC leadership, Professor Thuli Madonsela, thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Mtowazi Zondi, Deputy Chief Inspector, Manas Puri, CEO of Mine Rescue Services, and for many of these names, there's been recent interaction, and it's actually quite interesting how intimate and engaging we have been within the mining industry. Distinguished guest partners from business, labor, alumni, learners, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to be here and to greet you all and to say, still, I think exactly at 12 o'clock, good afternoon. It is indeed a privilege for me to be here to celebrate 60 years of the CTC. And I will take this opportunity to brag that the Minerals Council celebrated 135 years last year. But interestingly enough, Mintech celebrated 90, and I think CSIR also is going to be celebrating 80 years. And I mention this because it seems to be the character of a lot of institutions that are associated with mining, which in itself, I think is a very fundamental message in terms of how critical this industry has been to the country over such a long period of time. We're celebrating 60 years of CTC right here in Emalahleni, the heartbeat of South Africa's coalfields. And so on behalf of the Minerals Council of South Africa and its membership, I'd like to say congratulations. 60 years is not just an anniversary, it is a legacy of skills development, safety training, service that has shaped families, companies, and communities across our country. Since being established in 1965 to meet the coal industry's critical need for skilled people, and I've got skilled people in bold because this is something which I think has stood the coal industry in good favor when you look at safety performance. Over the decades, it has expanded from core mining competencies to a modern portfolio of engineering trades, mineral processing, safety, and specialized short courses. Since its inception, the CTC has been more than just a skills hub. It has been the backbone of professional development in the mining sector, ensuring that generations of artisans, miners, and technical professionals have the knowledge to succeed and the discipline and values to achieve the success responsibly. What began as a response to the industry's need for skilled workers has evolved into one of my favorite things, which is a center of excellence that continues to set the benchmark for mining education, both in our country and offshore. Today, CTC stands at the intersection of tradition and innovation. It remains grounded in its core mission to empower people through training, whilst adapting to a very rapidly changing world of work. The challenges facing the mining industry are immense, but the opportunities, in my view, are immensely numerous. The demands of and for automation, sustainability and global competition, and the need to operate responsibly within our communities places a high onus on education, training, and development. And it is pleasing to note that institutions such as the CTC are responding in anticipation to these changes, shaping a workforce that is equipped and future ready. Through partnerships with the mining houses, government, and communities, CTC has positioned itself very well within this ecosystem as a catalyst for transformation and inclusivity, opening doors for women, young men, young women, young girls, and previously marginalized groups to thrive in technical fields and emerging innovations. We can only applaud such progressive action and say, keep it up, CTC. Mining continues to anchor South Africa's economy, and we've seen this through supply ecosystems. In 2024, 45% of our exports, and you can imagine the foreign exchange of that, 117 billion rands of contribution to taxes and through taxes and royalties. And I think most crucially, the industry continues to employ 475,000 jobs, which means that the downstream jobs that it's supporting for employment and many households that continue to escape poverty depend on mining. Coal remains central to our current energy system while we stabilize our electricity supply and modernize generation operations. That means that the capabilities and competence built within the CTC Training Center affect every household and business that depends on reliable power. At the same time, the global energy system is shifting and changing, with international forecasts suggesting, and I'll be careful in my choice of words here, a potential plateau of coal demand. It may go up. This decade, as countries diversify into renewable sources, for South Africa and the region, this is a signal to step up on skills, to run safer, smarter, lower cost operations now, while building transferable capabilities to ride what I call the transition wave. South Africa has released its list of 21 critical minerals, of which coal is the high criticality, alongside PGMs, iron ore, manganese, and chrome. And based on these 21 minerals are based on the experienced socioeconomic impact of these minerals as well as the exploration potential of even more commodities. And I believe this bodes well for the future of our mining industry, given the increasing global importance of energy security and affordability that can be achieved from these minerals, which are also called energy metals, for their application in various energy development technologies. I do believe that the future of our mining industry rests on 3 pillars, and there may be more. And briefly, the first one is what I'd like to think will be a strategic market outlook in terms of where our economy is going as a country. A strategic market outlook that identifies opportunities to securely supply and maximize the value obtained from these minerals. Secondly, the availability of what I call key enablers. These include, and a lot of effort is going into fixing a lot of these, efficient logistics, energy and water infrastructure, but most importantly, relevant skills and innovations. And lastly, we must assume a regional approach. South Africa exists in a context of SADC and Sub-Sahara, and I believe that this approach is one which will create larger domestic markets within proximity of other countries and enable a much spoken about topic of local beneficiation, but on the back of which we will also get regional economic development. And so the mining sector remains, in my mind, an exciting industry, and if for no other reason, this constant state of change and flux. New technologies, regulatory changes, and global market dynamics demand that our workforce evolves not only alongside these changes, but ahead of them. It is critical that education, training, and development providers are aligned to these dynamics and understand that yesterday's skills are not enough for tomorrow's challenges. That is why CTC, as it has been doing, must remain firmly committed to delivering up-to-date, future-focused, industry-relevant training that will drive innovation and economic growth, and most importantly, economic diversification. From automated systems and digital mine management to advanced safety procedures, the learners at CTC should be equipped to meet and to exceed the expectations of a modern mining environment, but most importantly, the requirements of future mineral extraction. And I choose those words carefully because I don't think mining will be called mining in the future. At this point, let me pause on the topic of health and safety and the extreme importance of training and development in mining. Today, CTC is credited for occupational qualifications and trade testing with ISO-aligned quality and safety systems. Further to this, CTC has won national awards and recognition. The significance here is that in mining, training quality leads to health and safety outcomes. Those of us who have stood at a shaft bank at 5 o'clock, and for some it has even been as early as 4:30 in the morning, know that skill is not an abstraction. Skill and training is a mother or a father coming home safely. It's the difference between downtime and productivity. It is dignity at work. The significance of health and safety training within the mining sector cannot be overstated, given the inherently hazardous conditions characteristic of mining operations. Ultimately, a robust commitment to health and safety education is integral to the protection of our employees' well-being, the enhancement of operational productivity, and the assurance of compliance with industry regulations, rendering education and training an indispensable aspect of responsible mining management. The coal mining sector has performed extremely well, as I mentioned earlier, in respect of health and safety, remaining fatality-free for the year to date. One can only assume that with the continued involvement of institutions such as CTC, it will continue to perform at this level and better. And so as I conclude, allow me to make the following remarks. The first one, the significance of CTC and similar training centers extends beyond coal mining. These centers are integral to an ecosystem that nurtures talent, it supports economic growth, and builds resilient communities. By developing future skills, we prepare the workforce for a transition to emerging opportunities. Training centers connect ambition with opportunity and transform raw talent into expertise. They are not merely training workers. They are shaping the next generation of leaders, innovators, and change agents who will influence the mining industry and society at large. Thank you for this role, CTC. To the esteemed partners and investors who continue to be involved with CTC, the future of mining, and by extension, our nation's economic security, hinges on having a skilled, adaptive, and forward-thinking workforce in the mining sector. Investing in CTC is investing in progress, prosperity, and future of people, and the potential to transform society. And lastly, to the learners, current and future, I urge you to see your time at CTC not just as a step towards employment, but as a launching pad for a life of achievement. The skills you acquire at CTC will open doors, even small windows. It's about opportunities. The knowledge will give you confidence, and the values instilled in you will set you apart as leaders in your field. Embrace the journey of lifelong learning. The world you enter is vastly different from the one that existed even a decade ago. Even with my 30 years experience, I continue to learn today. And it will continue to change. By committing to continuous growth, you are future-proofing your career and empowering yourself to adapt and thrive, no matter where your journey may take you. And so as we look ahead, let us remember that our shared success in the sector is built on partnerships and collaboration. It is forged in the dedication of our staff, the ambition of our learners, and the unwavering support of our industry supporters and collaborators and investors. Together we can ensure that CTC not only honors its proud history, but also leads the way in shaping a better, brighter future for the mining sector and our nation. So to the CTC team and everyone present here today, thank you for 6 decades of service, and may you make the next decade CTC's most impactful yet. Thank you very much.
And we thank you so much, Mr. Mzila Mthenjane, CEO of the Minerals Council. As a fellow lifelong learner, I can't tell you how much I subscribe to that ethos, that way of thinking, and knowing that it will certainly present us and prepare us for the future. I quickly want to acknowledge and thank Mr. Hlonipheni Buthelezi as well for that very expertly delivered intro, but also for the tip of always keeping a physical copy in the blazer. Who knew that, isn't it? Because these devices, we're always looking at these batteries, or 45%. Yo, physical copy, okay. All right, there I have learned something. And then of course, to Mr. Mzila, I want to say my biggest takeaway from your presentation was when you said, yesterday's skills are not enough for tomorrow's problems. I understand what that means beyond just the industry, for life in general. You know, with the advent of technology, how rapidly it's developing, taking over, how many of our jobs are being replaced. I saw a meme the other day of a guy mowing the lawn, watching a machine mow a stadium 10 times faster than he could ever. And it was happening real time, you know. So I appreciate what you're saying about training for the future, anticipating it, because it is happening and it is happening rapidly. So perhaps another round of applause for our incredible speakers, please. I would appreciate that. I'm gonna maybe allow our technical guy just to come and make an adjustment here on the microphone while I introduce our next portion of the program. And for that, I'm going to invite Ms. Zandile Madonsela, the President of South African Collieries Human Resources Association, to come and introduce our next speaker. Let's welcome her with a fantastic round of applause, please. Ma'am, I see an iPad in your hand. I hope you have a physical copy in your pocket as well.
60 years of making an impact in our industry. 60 decades of changing lives. That deserves a wow. As the SACRO president, I'm very much honored to be introducing our guest speaker. I mean, they say it takes a legend to introduce one. Amen. Our guest speaker is a director of the Center of Social Justice in the Faculty of Law at Stellenbosch University. She currently teaches on constitutional law, social justice, administrative law, constitutional governance, and ethical leadership. She holds more than 1, more than 2, more than 5, more than 7 honorary doctorates, in addition to 2 law degrees. She's also a Harvard Advanced Leadership Certificate holder, and of course, she's got other postgraduate qualifications. She is also an advocate of the High Court of Southern Africa. Wow. Our former public protector of South Africa and a full-time commissioner in the African Law Reform Commission, Prof is a member of the South African Academy of Science and the Scottish WS Society. She is a chairperson of Cities Alliance and a member of the UN Scientific Advisory Board, and she also holds a number of council and board positions. Many years ago, while I was still young, she was one of the 11 technical experts who helped draft the South African Constitution, that small booklet. And she is a co-author of several constitutional mandated laws, including Equality Act, the Employment Equity Act, and the Promotion of Administrative Justice Act. Prof has helped to draft several international human rights instruments at the UN, AU, and SADC level. She is an author of 2 books on gender mainstreaming and gender management. And she's a co-author of an inaugural benchwork of Equality Courts and Resource Book, which talks about equality court clerks. Named one of Time 100 Most Influence in the World 2014 and Forbes Africa Person of the Year in 2017, her global recognition includes over 70 awards. That includes the Paul Harrison Award, Commonwealth Lawyers Truth and Justice Award. She is not only an academic person, she is also a mother of 2. She's joined by a beautiful daughter sitting next to her this morning. She's also a philanthropist and an avid mountaineer. She has summited Mount Kilimanjaro more than once. Yep. She was a monthly columnist for Financial Mail. She's currently writing for City Press and occasionally writes for other newspapers. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Professor Thuli Madonsela.
it down. Yeah. Thank you, Zani, for the kind introduction, and sorry for the torturous CV. Prof, I forgot the memo of bringing something in the pocket. And our iPad also stopped charging this morning, but thanks to CTC, we were assisted to have a printout. Esteemed guests, leaders of Colliery Training College, CTC, distinguished dignitaries, and most importantly, the vibrant young minds who will shape tomorrow. Good morning. I'm truly, truly grateful for the privilege to address this esteemed occasion, and for that gratitude, I owe my presence here to the chairperson of the board at CTC, Mr. Thabo Masike, the CEO of CTC, Ms. Hemana Bola, and of course, all members of the board and this community who thought that I could add some value. Firstly, congratulations to CTC. As everyone else has already said so, 60 years is a huge milestone. And I do agree with Mr. Mzila that it is a legacy. On our way here to congratulate you as CTC on this amazing achievement, we were fortunate to find ourselves in the company of one of the alumni of this university, Mr. William Makabula. His story reminded us of something profound. CTC's agility and resilience, which saw it transform from an asset created for a few into becoming a treasure for all. This transformation is a reminder that when institutions are reimagined to serve all, they unleash the power of diversity and innovation for common good. This is not just what our Constitution demands, it's also what visionary leaders coming from various spheres of life in South Africa dreamt of when they crafted the Freedom Charter 70 years ago, which was 10 decades before CTC was born. Of course, it means CTC was born during a regressive time of our history when, instead of moving with what the Freedom Charter people were saying, it confined itself to a few, which of course was the law of the land at the time. But when change caught up with CTC, it changed with change. Once again, we face a rapidly changing world. It is marked by a confluence of challenges, such as economic stagnation, not just in our country, in other countries as well. Poverty, inequality, and in our country, we have the second highest unemployment in the world. Second highest unemployment in the world. That's only topped by one negative achievement that we have. The other negative achievement, we were excelling is we are the most unequal country in the entire world. So on top of that, CTC and the young people in this room and here in Emalahleni are confronted with a world that demands agility and resilience once again. But luckily, having been around for 60 years means you know how to deal with change. You know how to dance with change. You know how to lead with possibility, understanding that to survive, you must change with change. Of course, on your terms and on your values, not just changing for the sake of change. I do think that we can praise CTC for being a beacon, reminding us that great leaders do not merely endure storms, they harness them to carve new paths. As a lawyer, I remember one of our lecturers when I was doing my first degree saying, as lawyers, you're not called eagles for nothing. When an eagle sees a storm and everyone else is running and ostriches bury their heads in the sand, an eagle goes into the center of the storm and leverages it to rise above. But CTC and the many young people that have come from CTC and other industry crucibles have shown that you don't need to be a lawyer to ride a storm and leverage it to gain higher ground. This celebration cannot proceed without us acknowledging that this college was established under apartheid darkness in 1965. Part of its work was to support job preservation, to create a skilled group that could support the mining industry. But that skilled group did not include Ms. Bola and other women, and did not include Mr. Magagula and other black people. But it still was a visionary thing, because we've heard just earlier about how this vision of ensuring that the people who mine are skilled contributed to less accidents. And of course, reduced lost time due to mistakes. In fact, one of the things that we found out as we were researching with my daughter, Mzila Mthenjane, and other two of my colleagues, was that CTC has had a 21-year success record of excellence when it comes to contributing to no accidents. And I want to thank the industry for prioritizing the issue of eliminating accidents. And the last time I was there, Mr. Mzila, in the Mining Council event, again, speaker after speaker prioritized the issue of lack of accidents. And it means a lot, because one person lost is one person in the big scheme of things. But to the family that loses that person, he or she is everything. So thank you for that. I'm not going to go into what kind of excellence have we seen from this institution. I would just acknowledge that whilst those skills were initially limited to a few, they've now been made available to many. But the many bring their diversity into it. And I want to believe that the benefit has been for common good. But it requires agility, not just for CTC, for this industry to embrace change. And it's really heartening to see that CTC embraced change as early as 1987, because that's where Mr. Magagula was able to come and train here. Now we flip to today. We have a CEO that is a woman. You really have to give yourself a round of applause. I'm mentioning this history not necessarily only to celebrate CTC, but to say to young people confronted with a rapidly changing world, where you expected one thing based on, on democracy's promises, and the reality differs. What we can learn from CTC is through agility and resilience, you can transcend change and also prevail. But transcending change means you've got to unlearn certain things and learn certain things. This industry had to learn the mistaken thinking that only men could lead the industry. And women have contributed amazingly. We've heard from Zandile, who of course, Gunene is Madonsela, and Gunene's a family. But to see young women, to see women such as Ms. Bola leading an industry like this, says to me, Pixley Kaseme, who worked a lot in this province, was right in 1909 to say that genius has no color, has no continent. Like snowflakes, they differ from one snowflake to another, but none of them is better or worse than the other. And thank you to the leaders of this country, the leaders of this industry, and CTC for embracing that truism, and therefore allowing excellence in many forms to shape progress in this industry. Of course, all of this has been enabled by democracy, and to you young people, I want to say that our democracy is not perfect, but it has given us a stepping stone to better freedoms. And that's what Nelson Mandela said. He didn't say what we got in 1994 or as early as 1993 was everything. He said it gave us legal freedoms and political freedoms, and together we can all use those freedoms to make sure that we liberate everyone. And from Ubuntu perspective, as recognized by our constitutional court in S versus Makwanyan, if I liberate you, I'm liberating myself, because together we're stronger than I am all by myself. In fact, in this Africa it said, if you want to go far, let me repeat. Here in Africa we say, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And there's more than 60 million of us. If we liberate everyone's potential, then we will go far, which is sustainability. Going far simply means sustainability. Not here today, gone tomorrow. I know I'm preaching to the choir, because if you have managed to be around for 60 years, it means you've done things right. Yeah. But one of the things our young people have to do, which CTC did, is embrace technology. And I know when we entered the fourth industrial revolution, a lot of complaints were around how much it's going to steal jobs. And we're now in the fifth industrial revolution with AI, and of course, our concerns are that it's going to steal jobs. But the reality is the digital age is here. We can either make it work for us, just like an eagle makes the storm work for it, or we fall apart. So what we can learn with CTC is as the country changed, as the demands of the industry changed, as the world's standards changed, it rolled with the change. It changed with change. And us as humans, but particularly young people, have to change with change. Or even better, lead the change. CTC already has started embracing the digital age by offering programs such as integrate automation, data analytics, programming, of course, alongside traditional entrepreneurships. We are, dear colleagues, at crossroads as we go forward. And as we're at crossroads, I would like us to count on young people. Unemployment in this area, I'm told, is at 54%. Not youth unemployment, just unemployment. Then youth unemployment in the rest of the country is over 60%. I shudder to think, what is it like in this community? But for every challenge that you have, it's also a possibility for you to be the solution. Again, when we spoke to Mr. Bakagula on how when he first came into the industry, those who were in the industry were not always willing to yield space, because people are always afraid that if you rise above them in skills, then they will be replaced. And of course, an ideal world is to create more spaces instead of playing musical chairs. But people are afraid that they wouldn't give you all of the training and all of the opportunities to witness the solutions that we're giving. But him and the other people who entered this field decided to teach themselves, to invite themselves into spaces, to learn without being invited, to watch. Because in Zulu we say, indlela ibuzwa kwabaphambili. So you can't just walk in and say, I'm new, then I'm going to take over. You say, oh, what do these others know that I don't know? But secondly, what am I bringing that they don't know? And this is something in Partners for Possibility, they emphasize that don't assume somebody who's coming new knows nothing. Don't assume that the old also means nothing. Weaving that together gives you a strategic advantage. And this is what we need to see happening now as we are at crossroads. And our key challenge, of course, is that it is said that, and I'm sorry, Siriti, it is said that 50% of coal jobs will be gone by 2030. But it was lovely to listen to the chair of Siriti talk about as the coal jobs are sliding back, there's a serious movement to move in with the green job. So it's not just an abrupt getting off and getting on, it's a managed process. But herein lies the opportunity for young people. So sustainable development should not be our enemy. It is an opportunity to reskill, it's an opportunity to innovate, it's an opportunity to even think beyond solar and wind. Because currently anyway, when it comes to solar and wind, we're on the back foot as South Africa and as Africa. Because with coal, we had our own coal and we're manufacturing. So we'll get some machinery from elsewhere. But we were not totally consumers. With the green energy, unless our young people move in and innovate, we will find ourselves being the consumers where everything is dropped on us. But that's not sustainable. So here's an opportunity for you young people to partner with ESCOM, to partner with the mining industry, to ensure that inclusion and opportunity is not just defined by the industry. You yourselves define it by claiming space, by taking up space and presenting yourselves as solutions to the challenges that we face. Lastly, I want to say that to be able to do the things that have to be done, we need agility, which is moving fast. We need the resiliency, the ability to bounce, not back. I prefer bouncing forward, because if you bounce back, you're likely to fall again, because whatever you had a problem with might cause you problems again. But lastly, you need grit, the ability to stand the test of time. Embrace technology as your partner. Embrace community as your partner. Embrace uncertainty as a partner. We've been lied to that we live in a VUCA world, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. That's a lie. Stone Age people lived in a VUCA world. There is no history, time in history, where the world was not volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Perhaps we could say in our time things are moving far more rapidly. So we could, of course, say we're in radical VUCA, but not the first ones. Why do I emphasize that? Is that it then creates anxiety for young people when we say ours is the worst time ever, because it then feels helpless that we can't resolve these things. If you think about Pixley Kaseme, it's 1906, it's the height of colonialism, but those people thought they could change the world. People like Charlotte McLeod, Olive Schreiner, etc., they thought they could change the world. They thought they could be part of the solution. So to young people today, don't be despondent. Don't be too afraid. Where there are problems, there's opportunity for you to be the solution. But last point is keeping democracy alive. Somebody once said, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. Have we been vigilant? Have we been vigilant? Industry cannot thrive without democracy. And for democracy to be sustained, it must work. But it can't just work for one group, it must work for all. What is a democracy that works for all? It is a democracy that meets the needs of all people. And here I differ slightly with some of the leaders in our country that I will not name. So a democracy that works for all depends on good governance. And in my view, and the view of the United Nations, good governance is beyond compliance. Yes, you can run an old-style classical administration where you comply. That's a requirement. But that's the baby step part of good governance. You must get clean audits, and that's excellent. But that's a toddler part of good governance. Proper good governance must meet the needs of people, beyond garbage being picked. If people need development, for example, local government is the engine of development in any country. As chairperson of an organization called Cities Alliance, we know that, and we foster that. And we know that local government is the engine that can make sure that inequalities are reduced in the city as part of an investment in social cohesion and peace, but also in sustainable economic and social development. Local government must make sure that small businesses are not just only supported when they already are able to walk on their own. Local government must assist people to start, sustain, and grow small businesses. And those small businesses should come from all sectors of life. So for me, Good governance expands freedoms for all. And that is the vision in our Constitution and in the Freedom Charter. But I want to say to you, those baby steps must be there. So if you don't even have those baby steps of just complying with the rules, of just making sure garbage is picked up, that there are no potholes, then we can't even begin to talk about transformative governance for you. But I do disagree that if you fix garbage and you comply, that's good governance. Not even by UN standards is that good governance. But in our case, our Constitution enjoins us to govern transformatively. Which means not only must we make sure that things are in order, we must also make sure that the legacy of inequality and indignity that we inherited from apartheid is progressively eroded. So young people vote right, hold leaders accountable to make sure that our democracy works. However, for democracy to work for all, young people just can't be those who complain. The generation of Charlotte Maxeke, Pixley Kaseme, and some of the people who entered CTC in the early years didn't just complain. They skilled themselves and they became a solution to the problems in front of them. So my invitation to young people is, yes, hold leaders accountable, but roll up your own sleeves to create solutions. I often say you're never too young to lead, and you don't need a title to lead. If you do need a title, you are already a human being, and that's the only title that you need. Where do you lead? Where your passion and skills converge at the point where there are problems or the pressing challenges of our time. That's your opportunity to lead. What is our role as grown-ups? The Tuma Foundation says our role as grown-ups is to meet you where you are. Once you start pushing your wheelbarrow, or once you start pushing your car that has, whatever reason, stalled, companies should come and help you, and government should come and help you. That's the kind of moving together that we need. And at Tuma we say a shared future is impossible without shared prosperity. And just as the leaders of the world in 1919 believed that there can be no peace in this world unless there is justice for all, we believe so. But we believe that we have a model in CTC of leadership that is ethical, purpose-driven, impact-conscious, and committed to serve. We have a model in stories such as Mr. Makakula and all of the leaders that have spoken before us that show that leaders can work together to confront the challenges of their time. We have a model that proves that hope is a hammer that strikes sparks. From apartheid exclusion to green transitions, we have proven through institutions such as CTC and the leadership of the minerals industry that we equal to change. That yes, change is painful, but not changing is delayed pain, and it's even more painful. So to young people, just lead wherever you are. Just knock at doors of places. Somebody will come and walk with you. Ethiopians say, when spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. We can tie up the confluence of challenges of our time if we just lead together. Thank you.
Professor Thuli Madonsela, as usual, awe-inspiring, quote after quote. If you were to try and, extract any takeaways or points of conversation, you might as well copy that entire speech and put it up, am I right? Prof, may I please just commend you in your personal capacity and say, I've had the privilege of interacting with you a number of times. And I've now noticed a pattern, and that is the capacity in which I interact with you. You're always in a position of showing support to others, encouraging others. It speaks volumes about how selfless you are. As accomplished and as senior as you are, you're always willing to give of your time, and that is truly commendable. So ladies and gents, please, another round of applause. I also just want to echo a sentiment that you expressed in your presentation when you spoke and you touched on Ubuntu. So I happened to be doing my master's, and during one of my assignments, I realized the reason a lot of global, multinational corporations fail when they try and expand outside of their domestic territory is because they don't understand this concept of Ubuntu. Now, you may not be able to draw the connection between that and business, but you soon realize the principles of not only thinking of self, thinking selfishly, thinking profit only, but thinking of others collectively. That is what underpins Ubuntu. So I really thought that was really brilliant. And my last takeaway, if I may, is that of the eagle flying into the eye of the storm to leverage. Hey, that's powerful stuff, man. That's powerful stuff. Sure. So thank you again so much, Professor Thuli. And please allow me to thank Mzila Mthenjane as well, President of South African Colleria's Human Resources. My absolute favorite, ma'am, is when you said, it takes a legend to introduce, hey, come on! You'll notice by now that I live for a good quotable. Every time somebody says, I'm using that. Oh, I'm using that. I love it. Folks, let's keep the program moving and invite onto the stage now who I can only describe as Mrs. Party. Give Mrs. Party sharp sharp. So here to talk about the 60 years of excellence in skills development, I'm going to invite Ms. Hemuna Bola, the CEO of CTC. But to bring her on up, I'm going to invite you all, please, to cast your eyes to the screens for this video that's going to welcome our guest of honor. Thank you.
In the heart of South Africa's coal fields, a vision was born. A vision that would forever change the future of skills, safety, and training. In 1965, a group of leading coal mining companies came together through the Chamber of Mines to establish the Colliery Training College in eMalahleni, Witbank, Mpumalanga. Their mission was clear: to create the central training ground where knowledge could be forged, skills refined, and lives transformed. At first, the college focused on providing practical skills, training for underground coal miners. Hands were trained, minds were sharpened, and lives were changed. But as the industry evolved, so did CTC. The curriculum expanded to embrace engineering artisan trades and specialized industry-aligned programs. This growth was guided not only by the ever-changing needs of industry, but also by CTC's unwavering commitment to excellence, a commitment to produce a highly skilled workforce, equipped not just for today, but for generations to come. Today, CTC stands as a center of excellence, home to world-class facilities, industry-leading accreditations, and a reputation built on trust. For 60 years, CTC has been more than a training institution. It has become a partner to industry, a builder of communities, and a gateway to opportunity. This is a story of vision, resilience, and innovation. Today we come together to celebrate this remarkable milestone, 60 years of shaping lives, transforming industries, and building futures. A milestone where we honor the foresight of our founders, the dedication of our people, and the impact of our graduates. This is our legacy. This is our future. This is CTC.
This place looks amazing. Thank you, Thuli and team. Our distinguished guests, Professor Madonsela, Mr. Mthenjane, Mr. Zondi, Mr. Fourie, Mr. Masike, our CTC Board of Directors, the President Councils, fellow CEOs, COOs, and executives, general managers that are here, industry leaders and partners, colleagues, and our dearest learners. Thank you for honoring us with your presence. It is my honor and privilege to address you on behalf of CTC's leadership, our union leadership, our employees, and our learners. The Colliery Training Center, or CTC as it is known, was founded on a very simple principle: to centralize and standardize training for underground coal mining, a place where industry could grow competent miners and artisans and ensure a safer place of work. And as early as 1965, these leaders had the vision that education and skills could change lives, could save lives, could build communities and transform the industry. That was a powerful vision. And over these 6 decades, this vision has been carried through CTC's classrooms and workshops, shaping every learner into becoming not just skills miners and artisans, but agents of change and catalysts for transformation. My dearest guests, it's our birthday, and I want to take a bit of liberty to brag about CTC's achievements. CTC is very proud to be accredited with the Quality Council for Trades and Occupations, the QCTO, as a skills development provider on all 12 artisan trades, and with the National Artisan Moderation Body, NAM, as a trade test center, one of the few in the country. An achievement that is testament to the hard work and dedication of CTC's workforce, as well as the industry players that shape that journey. Now, whether a learner is qualifying in traditional legacy trades or in the newer occupational qualifications, their training and certification at CTC carry full national recognition. We are also fully accredited with the Mining Qualifications Authority for mining-related programs, for technical and mining short courses and skills programs. And in addition, we offer CTC-accredited programs in mineral processing, Artisan 4.0 robotics, through simulated learning and mock-ups. And we also hold the ISO 9001 and 45001 certifications, a seal of trust that demonstrates excellent safety and global competitiveness. But beyond these certificates, these accreditations represent the trust that industry has placed on us, and in the confidence that learners carry into their careers. It is no coincidence then that in 2017, CTC were the recipients of 2 gold awards at the National Skills Authority Awards ceremony for our skills and artisan development programs. And in 1921, the MQA gave recognition for outstanding artisan development and work experience programs. While many know CTC for its training and workshops, student accommodation and sports facilities, we also have the privilege of housing the Rescue Drill Unit and the Colliery's inertization system. In partnership with the Mine Rescue Service, the RDU division has been at the forefront of some of the most critical rescue operations in mining history. from the Colebrook disaster to the Amaswati and Lily Mines rescue. CTC stands, therefore, for more than just training. Through this partnership, we show our commitment to safety and we support the teams that lead these rescue missions. Our 60-year journey is also deeply tied with the communities we serve. We are incredibly proud to support the important work of organizations that care for our children and our elderly, including CMR, Highvelds Children's Home, White Rose Hospice, and the SAVF at Immochran. On behalf of all those that have walked before me, and on behalf of the current team, past employees and CEOs included, I say we have done good. CTC's 60-year legacy, our strength and our success also rests on the bedrock of all those that have walked alongside us. And a celebration like this will have little value if the partners and the industry leaders are not acknowledged for the role and impact that they have had. We owe a very special gratitude to our shareholders, the first 27 mining companies that had the foresight to create CTC, and today the 5 shareholder companies that sustain it: Seriti, Glencore, Thungela, Exxaro, and Kangra Mine. These leaders do not take back profits made at the end of the year, but rather they invest in the people, in skills and technologies, and in our facilities. We remain humble to your grace. Your vision and commitment are the foundation of everything we celebrate today. Our CTC Board of Directors, Thabo Masike, Sisi Mahobe, Rosalind Kempt, Paul Riedelinghuis, and Dumisane Kale. These are leaders that guide CTC with wisdom, dedication, and passion, without taking a salary for being a director. Your selfless service ensures this institution continues to thrive. Together, your generosity of spirit is a true dividend of CTC, measured not in money, but in the progress we make in industry and in the lives of the communities and the households we transform. Thank you. The Minerals Council of South Africa, previously the Chamber of Mines, were amongst the visionaries who laid the foundation for the Colliery Training College. 60 years later, your unwavering support continues to remind us that skills development is not just an operational need, but a cornerstone of a safer, stronger, and more sustainable industry. And through our partnerships with the South African Collieries Managers Association, SACMA, and the South African Collieries Engineers Association, SACIA, we remain deeply connected to the technical heartbeat of the mining industry. The Council's leadership and vision ensures that our training remains relevant, practical, and aligned to the realities of operations. Mr. Harting and Mr. Christie, please continue to keep us honest and accountable for skills development in the industry. Acknowledgement also goes to the underground mining training facilities that were provided to us at New Clydesdale Colliery and most recently to Thungela Greenside Mine, where thousands of miners were trained from 1992 to 2024. To the current and past leadership at Thungela and the teams, we say a huge thank you. Seriti Kutala Mine, under the leadership of Mr. Buthelezi and his passionate engineering, mining, and training teams that are here today, and through the sponsorship of Mr. Mahota, the COO, and Mr. Teke, CEO, your commitment to support underground mining going forward in terms of the Underground Mining Center is a true gift to both CTC and learners. Thank you for opening your doors and the guidance and leadership you demonstrate. We are also proud to say that the Underground Training Center has started training learners in August already, and the first blast was completed yesterday. And the official opening is planned for the 13th of November. Also very big thank you to our leaders and partners in the surface mine training at Mzwelasi, Mzinkula Mining, and Canyon Mining. Thank you very much. I want to express our deep gratitude to our departments. I think it's important to say that while we at CTC, through industry partners, are moving ahead, doing what we do, we wouldn't be where we were if it wasn't for the guidance and the boundaries that are placed in terms of what needs to be done. So a very special gratitude to the Department of Minerals and Petroleum Resource, whose vision and leadership continue to guide the sector. To the MQA for championing skills development and investing in our learners. To the QCTO for ensuring our programs meet the highest national standards. To NAM for safeguarding the integrity and credibility of artisan training across the country and at CTC. And to all of our sponsors, our stakeholders, our clients, service providers, customers, industry training managers and officers, and those that has played a big part in the life of CTC, but whom I haven't mentioned by name, we extend our deepest thank you and gratitude. Your investment, your trust, your partnership has been the bedrock of our journey, whether through your financial support, your sponsorships, industry guidance, or collaborative initiatives. You have each played a vital role in ensuring that we deliver training that transforms lives and sustains the industries. I'm sure you will all agree with me when I say the future looks very bright for CTC. With the world of work evolving at an accelerating speed and new technologies, emerging industries, climate change, our challenge is clear: to anticipate and meet the skills of tomorrow so we may remain relevant. But within that challenge lies our greatest opportunity to create a legacy even greater than the one we celebrate today. Today, we see ourselves as more than a training institution. We want to become the catalyst for nation building in South Africa and a partner in Africa's journey towards growth, innovation, and opportunity. And we thank all our partners in advance for contributing to the journey ahead with us. I would like to close by addressing CTC's leaders, our managers, our union leadership, and our employees. The next 60 years will be shaped by your dedication, by your wisdom, by your commitment. You have and you will always be the heartbeat of CTC, the ones who turn vision into reality, classrooms into launch pads, and potential into achievement. Continue to lead with courage, think boldly, and act with purpose. Believe in yourself. Every decision you make, every learner you guide, every innovation you embrace will define the future of this institution and the industries it serves. We can go far together and liberate everyone's potential. Here's wishing our beloved college, CTC, a happy 60th birthday. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam CEO. Once again, congratulations, not only for 60 years, but here's to 60 years and beyond. Another round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. Madam CEO, I also wanted to let you know that, I didn't get this gig because of my good looks. So I happen to be from Kimberley, which, as you know, we have the big hole over there. So for some reason, I was expecting a thunderous round of applause. Not even close. So I understand mining is what I'm trying to say to you. If you ever needed, guest lecture, anything in that, am I pushing it, anything in that space? All right, I'll get off this train. Folks, listen, that, is my mic still there? Is my poor attempt at making jokes. And I say that because I am about to invite onto the stage an absolute expert, somebody that I'm a massive fan of. Doesn't know how much, I supported not only his career, when he had a podcast going on, I was a fan of that. I happen to know. And you'll also notice I put my notes away because I know this stuff. He walked away with the recent Headliner of the Year 2025 award. He also walked away with the Best Solo Show of the Year award. He has toured the corners of this country and has also done shows abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, please go crazy for my good friend, Robbie Collins!
Hello, beautiful people. How are you guys doing? Give it up for Pro, ladies and gentlemen, holding it down. So nice to see everybody. You're looking good. I know some of you guys don't know who the hell I am. You'll just clap. I'm a big deal in the streets. I know there's some white people. I used to be on a show called Rockville on Mzansi Magic. I know I've lost my white people in the audience. Mzansi Magic, like, what is that? Mzansi Magic, you know the channel your helper leaves on and you come home and you're like, what's that? That's Mzansi Magic. It's black people's Mnet. I used to be on a show there called Rockville and I played a gay guy. I was very happy being a gay guy because every time they make me I'm on TV, they always make me a colored gangster. I was on Rhythm City, you don't even know this because they killed my character off very quickly. I got there early to shoot my scene. They're like, Rob, it's been a pleasure working with you. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, go read your script. I see page 5, I'm dying. No one told me about that. I'm dying, page 5. And they send up a stunt coordinator. They're like, Rob, you're dying today, so I'm here to teach you how to die. They explain when you get shot, don't just die. I didn't know this. When you get shot, the bullet hits you, and then it registers something in your brain, then you die. And the guy's like, I'm gonna give you some time, just practice your death. We'll call you when we're ready. I'm 38, I grew up with ETV movies. I wanted to go out like a duck. You know when you watch Scarface, when people get shot, they're like, sometimes they taste the blood. So I'm like, I'm gonna die like a proper thug. They call me down, this is my scene. ETV, I'm playing a gangster, trying to get money from another gangster. This is the scene. Action. Give me the money, man. But because it's ETV, it's an ad break. During the ad break, the stunt coordinator comes back. He's like, yo, Rob, we're gonna put these little squibs on you. You know what squibs are? Squibs are plastic balls filled with fake blood. And when you get shot on TV, that thing explodes through your clothes and then you die. And fake blood runs down. And he's like, remember, Rob, don't just die immediately. Register. Register you've been shot and then die. Okay, sharp. Let's pick it up from give me the money. Action. Give me the money. Pa, pa. No one told me how painful it is for plastic to explode on your skin. That gun went off. I forgot about registrations. I forgot about registrations. I was like, It's like, die. But it's good to be with you lovely people. I've been traveling a lot. I was in New York City for 2 months. Good times. I'm not showing off. I'm just telling you about my life. Listen here, South Africans, don't ever feel jealous when you see a South African posting on social media when they're overseas. Please understand they're only happy when they are posting that picture. After that, it is budgeting. 20 rand to $1. You know when I drink in South Africa, I have standards. A glass of white wine before the show, double Jamie after the show. In New York, I drank whatever was offered. Jay's Float on the Rocks is delicious. Spicy. You ever just go to a club and leave your drink at the bar, you're like, somebody please spike me. I'm trying to have fun. And then I realized Americans don't know anything. Americans are very ignorant. They don't know anything. They only know Trevor Noah and Nelson Mandela. And then Americans just stop reading. And when I was on stage, some of the American comedians started Googling South Africa, and they had questions for me when I walked off. They're like, Rob, what's a car guard? I was like, a car guard looks after the car. And then they went even further, like, are these like ex-Navy SEALs? Like, no. No. These guys are probably drunk, but we just trust them. You know a car guard's not serious when they're not even wearing the bib, they're just holding the bib. Like I was, yeah, your car was here. And then they ask, what happens if your car gets stolen? What do? They're like, no, they just say, askies. And then I had to get ready to come back home to South Africa. And when you come back home to South Africa, you got to put your spidey senses up. Because there's certain levels, there's rules we have here that don't exist anywhere else. Even when you order Uber, you don't order that thing outside. You order it inside. You memorize your number plate. And then you go outside. Because it's always your phone that gets stolen. And you know when your phone gets stolen, your pants just get light. And you don't admit you've been robbed. You always look for a friend to ask them a stupid question, like, can you call my phone quickly? I want to see something. Or it's off. And I must say, the past 2 years, this year, I'm practicing positivity with South Africa. We have a beautiful country. We really do have a beautiful country. I think most of us are trying to make this thing work. You can feel it. We dope here. We good. And I know people complain about the government, but I always say to people when you complain, be grateful you can complain. That's a democracy I don't think people speak about enough in this country. Other countries, you complain about who's in government, gone. No trial, nothing. It's like, what happened to Jeff? He said something loud. Here in South Africa, you can go on Twitter, tag Cyril. You can tag Cyril and tell him straight, Cyril, where's my lights? Nothing will happen, you just keep moving. And I must say this, I know there's some government officials there, relax, don't worry, I'm not coming after you. This is the thing, there's some things the ANC helps us. We don't get involved in wars. Russia and Ukraine went to war, ANC didn't even open that email. That thing went straight to spam. I'm from Durban, looting taught us we're not ready for any war. If you can't protect macro and Pick n Pay, forget about our borders. If we go to war, we're sending ADT. Also, why do you want to fight Russia? Russia has supplied us with sausages for years. Now you're going to fight Russia and Ukraine? No, guys. The only way we'll survive if we just send people on Nyalpi to fight Russia. That's the only way we'll survive. Russia will be so confused, like we're winning the war, but we keep losing our phones. Vladimir, call my phone. Oh, it's off. Things are good here. Things are good. We got rights. Well done to CTC. What you're doing for the kids, it's amazing. It's nice to see things happening. It's very nice. I'm just saying it's nice. There's no jokes. Don't worry, I'm not joking. I'm just saying it's nice. I mean, it's a good time. I think South Africa has rights that I think people don't know. Our gay laws are amazing. Sometimes I'm jealous of my gay friends. All of my gay friends look like they're doing well in life financially. I don't have one poor gay friend in my life. Lesbians are struggling. 2 female salaries, it's tough. Guys, if you don't like these jokes, my name's Jason Goliath. We keep it moving. I see some of the gents, heterosexual men, stop acting like we don't find each other attractive. It doesn't mean you're gay, it means you're a human being. We know when a good-looking person walks through the door. Don't act. Have you ever been on a date with your girlfriend, you're at the bar buying drinks, and then you see your girlfriend dancing, she's having fun, you're like, oh, she looks so happy. You carry on ordering. Then you turn around, you see an ugly guy approach your girl. You're like, she'll never. She'll never disrespect me with that thing. Then you carry on ordering, you see a good-looking guy approach your girl. The panic. Now you're screaming at the barman, let's start a tab. It's good times, everybody does whatever. Miss South Africa 2024 is a deaf lady, crazy. Yes, Miss South Africa 2024 is deaf, it's wild for me. I don't even know how she heard about the competition. My point is, this place is great. You know how great South Africa is right now? Bafana is doing better than the Springboks. Look at that. Things are amazing here. But it's just sometimes crime. I've been a victim of crime. First time I was robbed by 3 colored men. I was very disappointed. Because you know, you always feel like your race must stick with you. I was like, come on guys, let me go. I'm sure there's a white cyclist coming now. I'll even stay and help. 12 o'clock during the day in Sandton. Nobody even stopped to help because they just thought it was 4 colored people having a conversation. Meantime, I'm dying inside. And if you my age, 38, you grew up with ETV action movies. Steven Seagal, Jackie Chan, Jean-Claude Van Damme. And as a child, when you watch movies, you went outside and played movies. You played what you watched, and I couldn't wait as a child for life to put me in a situation where I could use all these skills. Now there's 3 guys, 2 of them have guns. The one guy just has a very strong self-esteem. And the one guy's a gun here, the other guy's a gun here. And in the heat of the moment, all those Van Damme movies start rushing back. I'm thinking, gun here, gun here. If I duck, they're gonna shoot each other. So I went like this, and the guy just went like that. You ever apologize to a thief? Hardy boss, I'm sorry, my man. And then the man said to me, you walk that way, we're gonna walk that way. And immediately I just started crying. No tears, is it? And in the distance, I see a big E lit up in the sky. And I start realizing I'm safe. Because I don't know who told South Africans that an engine garage or any garage is a safe place. For some reason, we feel safe at a garage. There's no safety at a garage. There's only burger pies. But in your head, you think you're safe. I run into the garage, I'm standing there, I'm crying by the chips. And the lady behind the counter looks concerned because there's a grown man crying by the chips. She walks up to me like, Eboti. Eboti, if you're gonna cry, you must buy something. This is very nice. Whoever did the flowers, these are gonna be at a funeral on Friday. Oh, good job. I'm saying well done. It just also looks like... I'd like to see the mixture of races happening in South Africa. It's beautiful. Even here, this afternoon, it's beautiful. I recommend if you're single today, don't just go home, mingle. Mingle and mingle with the opposite race. Just see. You don't have to marry that person. Either it's gonna be a lesson or experience. Mingle there, just make more of me. I used to date a white girl, good time in my life. But when my white girlfriend, you know this thing, when you date outside your race, you realize we're all the same. As human beings, we're all the same. We all want to be loved for, we all want to be cared for, but there's a slight cultural differences. My white girlfriend put a lot of pressure on me to do things I've never done before. Like, Rob, call your father. I'm joking. She said, let's take a shower together. It's so romantic. I have never, ever showered with anyone in my life before. I've bathed with a few people. That's because I have 5 siblings. You ever bath with your siblings? That thing's uncomfortable. Because not everybody can spread out in the bath. Everybody has to just sit like this. You just got to splash water on your shoulders. I never had a clean back growing up. But also, it doesn't matter your race. Taking a shower with your partner is not a sexy thing. Because 2 people can't fit under the shower head at the same time. Only one can. So you got to stand in the shower, butt naked, and dry. Now you must watch another person shower. You got to act like you're having fun, like, nice, huh? Nice. You trying to get water? Who's a parent here? Who has kids in the house? How old are your children? 30. Are they still at home? Oh. I was like, yo, there's unemployment in the white community. So your children are 30. That's old. But you gave your children polony when they're growing up, eh? Thank you. You give your kids, how old are your kids, ma'am? 7. Do they eat polony? Why? I don't like this new generation. They think polony is evil. They think polony is poisonous. When we were kids, if you had polony on your bread, that was a good day of lunch. And the thing about polony, the color of your polony lets you know if both your parents are doing well. Polony will let you know how hard things are at home. I don't know, these generations have changed now. They've changed, the kids are doing different things. Because when polony was on your bread, that was a special day. Because the rest of the week you're eating peanut butter on bread. Peanut butter on bread is fine if you eat it as soon as it's made. Problem is your mother makes that thing in a rush, 6 a.m., throws it in the lunchbox. You only open that lunchbox 10 a.m., first break. You open up that lunchbox, that peanut butter and bread are like this. And if you don't have Oros close by, it's game over. You walk around the whole of break. These kids don't even have lunchboxes anymore. They have Tupperwares. Remember old school lunchboxes? You have bread on the one side, then you have a room divider. Then you have the juice bottle here. And you can't trust that juice bottle. Even if it's brand new, don't trust that juice bottle. If you don't have plastic between the lid and the bottle, game over. You open up your homework, there's a map on your exam pad. But when you had polony on bread, that's a good day. You didn't even want to share. Like, this is me. But the polony depends. Because polony will tell you how bad your life is. If you're eating cold meats, you're doing well. Then you get chicken polony. But you know you're poor when you're eating that pink. You know that pink? It looks like an all-star from Limpopo, that pink. And your mother will lie to you, like, hey guys, tonight we're having polony. Like, ma. And your mother's like, no, tonight I'm gonna fry it. Have you eaten fried polony before? The polony gets scared of the oil. It starts turning into a cup. The polony just turns into a ZTC, like, hey. But if you were lucky, you got tax of money. And it's a good time. 5 rand and you were doing well. 5 rand. Back in the 90s, if you had 5 rand tax of money, you're buying everything there. Nowadays, kids are getting 50 rand. My nephew asked me for 50 rand. I asked my brother, does his child have a drug problem? What is he buying? What is he buying with 50 rand at the tuck shop? 50 rand got you great things. 5 rand got you great things. Packet of chips, those marshmallow mice things. You know those marshmallow mice things? Sometimes they fish. They keep it fresh. They leave it in powder. You come back to class, look like you're nyalpe, your lips are white. Teacher's confused, like, who's playing with chalk? And then you got the packet of chips. You ever do the thing with the packet of chips when somebody asks for some, you hold it at the bottom? Like dig. Or with a can of Coke, you don't open it fully, you just go tss. You just suck that thing the whole time. Then somebody asks, can I have some? It's not open. It's not open. But you guys are good. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I wish you a beautiful afternoon. I'm going to leave you with this. My mom's now 69 years old lady, living her life. And recently she just took my father back. Yes, after 23 years of divorce. Because you know, I have a belief that men of color aren't romantic if they were from the apartheid times. They didn't have time for romance. My father's love letters were horrible. He's like, dear Carol, I have fought against white domination and I have fought against black domination. Like, that's not a poem, Dad. But one of the things my mom used to do in the house is she used to have prayer meetings over, because my mom loves the Lord. And I don't know if anyone else's mother ever did this to you. When you have visitors come, your mother goes out and buys nice things for the house. Then they act like you must be used to all these nice things you haven't seen. And they tell you, don't touch the chips till the visitors have. Like, woman, we haven't had knickknacks in this house since Boxing Day. You can't keep knickknacks from a child. And then they put some of the chips out in a bowl. And they leave the rest of the chips in the kitchen. They lock it down with a peg. And they're there for Bible talks. And you love Jesus, but not that much. You're just there for a chip. And everyone's praying, and you just want somebody to take a chip. You're trying to hint, like, there's a chip there. There's a chip there. Eventually, me and my son like, get these chips. Let's go to the kitchen. Get the other chips. If you don't come, I don't share. And you gotta creep away. And they deep in Bible talk, like, don't forget about Judas. And you're in the kitchen and stealing from a packet of chips is stressful. Like, go watch. I can't do two things at the same time. You see the chips, and it's very hard to steal from a packet of chips because of the sound. Like, ah! Ah! Go watch. I can't do two things at the same time. Yeah, you too. Please don't tell Ma. Please don't tell Ma, I swear. Please. That's the scariest thing when you have visitors over. The scariest thing to get in trouble when you have visitors over, because when you know your mother says, wait till they're gone. Now you have 2 hours to show your mother you're a changed person. You're just reading books for no reason. Eventually I get the peg off the chips and the chip packet starts to open itself. And you get excited, like, come see the chips. Okay, go watch. Now here's the hard part, getting your hand through that packet of chips. Because you're going to disguise this noise with your own noise. You're there. You get that knickknacks open, you're like, here's your chip. Here's my chip. But remember, don't chew. You guys been beautiful. Thank you very much. My name's Robbie Collins. Have a great afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the incredible Robbie Collins! Good job, bro. Listen, except Robbie, as a host of a function, you've got multiple roles. Everyone thinks it's just, saying what's next, who just came, what just happened, what's gonna happen, blah, 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 right? But you must also monitor how the day is going out, right? Jump in if something needs to change and all that. There were some jokes there that got a little bit dicey. I'm like, should I stand up now? When he says, our Miss South Africa last year, 2024, I'm like, it's gonna But listen, thoroughly enjoyed it, man. One more time for Robbie Collins, please, everybody. To kick off the second half of our program, which will culminate into the award ceremony as well. So allow me to deem this the celebratory part of our afternoon. I would first like to invite onto the stage Mr. George Hatting, who's the president of the South African Colliery Managers Association, to come and help us with the tribute to the founding members as well as past leaders. Shall we welcome him with a big round of applause, please?
I think before I start, just maybe a small little remark. When I was listening to Robbie and him talking about bologna and also talking about these sandwiches with the peanut butter and syrup, I really do have sympathy with everybody that needed to go through that pain. But I must also be honest, I love my peanut butter and syrup sandwiches. And I do know that it is challenging without a little bit of coffee. So ladies and gentlemen, board members, management, distinguished guests, and friends of the Colliery Training College, good afternoon. Now you can see I'm already starting to stutter because we talk about Colliery Training College. That's not how we talk. Anybody that had the chance to go to the Colliery Training College will talk CTC. It is so easy. Now, my name is George Hatting, and I'm the current SACMA president, and it's both an honor and a privilege to stand here today to pay tribute to the men whose vision and determination gave birth to an institution that has, for nearly 6 decades, shaped the backbone of South Africa's mining and engineering workforce, the Colliery Training College, or as we know, CTC. But I just would like to stand still a moment here, maybe just to share a little bit of personal information. Now, if you are a manager with a blasting ticket, the chance will be very, very good that in your career that you got to CTC and you went or underwent the training that was provided. Now, I was born in 1969, and we talk about a 60-year celebration. That is 60 years. So even before I was born, there was visionaries, people that saw the need to start something like a training college, and that developed into the institution of today. I can still remember the things that I was taught as a learner official at CTC at New Clydesdale. Obviously, the one that is not in use, and the one that really started to learn us or teach us about discipline was this flame safety lamp. And most of our learners, I'm sure, don't even know what that is anymore because it's only an ornament in somebody's office. I must say, I have 2 of them in my office regarding that. Now, in August 1965, a group of remarkable leaders gathered under the chairmanship of Mr. J.W. Schilling, who became CTC's very first board chair. Now, with him stood Mr. F.J.L. Wells, who presided over the very first official meeting, and fellow pioneers, E.M. Brothers, T.W. Grout, A.W.S. Schumann, W.M. Walker, and A.J. Wood. Together, they formed the first board of this new institution. Now, when I saw the names, you can definitely see diversity. In those years, there was no diversity. And some of the speakers already alluded to that fact. And today we are honored to have a very much diverse workforce and a management structure. But it needed to start somewhere. Now, of course, any institution cannot just work with a board. You cannot just have generals and no soldiers. You need people that can execute the vision. You need people that come to the table. Now, during that period, they were guided through technical wisdom of Mr. V.C. Robinson, the first Chief Technical Advisor to the Chamber of Mines, whose expertise helped chart the course of CTC's training vision. Now, when I thought about these names, I must say it was not that easy to retrieve them. It is not that you can go onto Google, you put the founders of CTC in, and suddenly there, it will kick out the paper and it will acknowledge all of these things. In those years, we didn't have the internet. Most probably, there is only some written minutes, and I don't know if we have proof of those now that are still being held at CTC in the archives. But I must say it was very difficult now to try to retrieve it now from the cloud in doing such type of things. And I'm wondering, while I'm calling out the names, how many of these pioneers and trailblazers is still with us today? I'm 56, born in 1969, 1965, first board. If those people were around about 30 years of age, they should be very close to 90. But it's just the thinking or the thought that I had when I was doing the preparation for this speech. Now, these individuals were not just simply administrators. They were visionaries who recognized that South African mines needed more than machinery and manpower. They needed skilled artisans, trained professionals, and above all, a commitment to excellence and safety. But vision alone does not build a college. It takes teachers and mentors, men and women willing to roll up their sleeves and pass on their knowledge. In 1966, F.J. Wessels became the first electrical instructor, quickly followed by Mr. F.T. Ernest, who took office on the 1st of September as the first principal. Now, they were joined soon after by Mr. D.J. Breed, instructor in mechanics, and Mr. T.J. Combrink, who trained the earliest generation of electrical artisans. These first staff members laid a foundation of CTC's proud teaching tradition. They built not just classrooms and workshops, but a culture of discipline, skill and pride in one's craft, a culture that continues to define CTC today. From those early years, CTC has grown into a national center of excellence, training thousands of artisans, electricians, boilermakers, diesel mechanics, miners, fitters, welders, and millwrights who fuel the mining industry and the wider economy. Over the decades, CTC had not only trained hands, but shaped hearts and minds. It has adapted to changing times, from traditional mining practices to the challenges of modern technology, and now the fourth industrial revolution with its Artisans 4.0 program. Now, this ability to adapt and innovate is a direct inheritance from its founding members, who believe that training should not just meet the needs of today, but prepare for the demands of tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, we honor the founding members, not only because they built an institution, but because they built a legacy. Their courage to dream, their willingness to act, and their dedication to industry and community are the very qualities that sustain CTC's relevance 60 years later. They understood something profound, that every artisan trained, every skilled mastered, every career built, and every life uplifted through CTC is a living tribute to their work. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we reflect on the achievements of these pioneers, we must also ask ourselves, how do we, the custodians of the legacy, carry it forward? We do so by keeping alive the spirit of innovation. We do so by committing to excellence in every program we deliver. We do so by ensuring that CTC remains a place where young South Africans find not just training, but purpose, pride, and opportunity. And so today, we salute J.W. Schilling, F.J.L. Wells, E.M. Brothers, T.W. Grout, A.W.S. Schumann, W.M. Walker, A.J. Wood, V.C. Robertson, F.J. Wessels, F.T. Ernest, D.J. Breed, and T.J. Kombrink. Your names are etched not only in the records of this institution, but in the lives of the thousands of men and women whose futures you helped shape. On behalf of the current leadership, board, management, and every miner and artisan who has walked through the gates of CTC, we say thank you. Your vision endures. Your legacy lives on. And the Quality Training College remains your lasting monument. I thank you.
Mr. George, thank you so much for giving us that really insightful, informative, retrospective view of CTC and the journey that it has traveled. I think it gives one a greater appreciation of the milestone that today actually is, 60 years. Absolutely incredible indeed. And to hear of the names who were the founders, juxtaposing that with the new entrance into the space that we are about to award this afternoon, you have to really appreciate that journey. So perhaps another round of applause, please. And while we are appreciating the journey, I think it's also significant, that we hear from alumni. Sometimes one has to see, the fruits and hear of, the great stories that has come of some of these programs and institutions. So it gives me great pleasure now to hear our first alumni testimonial as we invite Ms. Nosipho Dlamini, who's a mine manager at Tungela Greenside Colliery. Big round of applause, please.
So my watch just told me when I was sitting there and Willem was adding extra pressure on me that my heart rate was above 100 for more than 10 minutes. Because I've done a lot of, okay, maybe a few amazing things in my life, but I've never been this nervous. And I don't know why. So good afternoon, distinguished guests, industry leaders, colleagues, friends in the industry, and most importantly, the new graduates that are coming out of CTC. Please give yourselves a round of applause. It is with deep honor that I stand here today to celebrate this very big milestone of 60 years of CTC. And you're right, George, I think I only knew that it was CTC, that it was Colliery Training College after I had left CTC. So I already had my blasting certificate. I was like, oh, I actually drove to Witbank once and I saw it written on a board. I'm like, is that what it stands for? Because we just know it as CTC. But it's an industry that has shaped a lot of our lives, especially us who are leading in the mines. It has really shaped our lives and testament to where we are today. When Thuli asked me to come and said, you are one of the successful alumni, I was like, what are you talking about? The successful alumni? I don't know why you want to hear my journey. And then I asked nicely and I said, please read my bio because it's very scary to talk about yourself, right? And it's like borderline. Sometimes it sounds like you're boasting and, you know, so I was like, I don't want to read my own bio. And then, you see, where's the proverb? You had an opportunity to be the legend that introduces the legend, but you didn't take it. So I'm not going to talk about my bio. Somehow I'm going to weave my life somewhere in what I was going to say today before they told me that they're not going to read the bio. But as a start, I was born in a very small town, just a few kilometers from here, called Ebetali Mzinoni. Are there any Betali Mzinoni people? Even the president himself is from Bethel, ne? So I am a child of Emma Zambaneni, Ebetali. I didn't spend a lot of time there. I started my schooling career in Soweto. So somewhere between, you know, the rural streets of Betali to also the townships of Soweto, my character and Unozipo became a person. When I first walked through the gates of CTC as a young trainee, I was uncertain. I was also uncertain because mining was also one of those things that just landed on my lap. It was never really the plan for me. I loved reading books, so naturally I thought I was going to become a writer. I loved reading African writers series, Chinua Achebe, Vuchi Emecheta, the West African writers. So when I told my grandmother I wanted to become a writer, she was like, hey, South Africans don't read. Who's going to read your books? She was right. She was right. So I would have written books, but probably I would have been a poor writer because no one in South Africa at the time read. I think we're a little bit better now. So I ended up going to study at the University of Pretoria, and there I did my mining engineering degree. And 2008, I landed with my suitcase at Sasol. Sasol Mining is where I started my career. I remember I didn't have a bed, so I stayed at my aunt's house in Mzinoni up until I could afford my first bed. So I used to take that mega bus that everyone still takes today. And that was the start of my career. There was a grade 3 teacher that called me Umaqinasi, and I think she meant it to discipline me, but I took that as an encouragement. Because when I read the program of what we were supposed to do, is that you're supposed to go do your 25 shifts at CTC, and these are the modules that you are supposed to do in order for you to get your blasting certificate. I was like, great, where is the CTC? Let's go. So I didn't know that we were supposed to leave as a group. So there's a group of graduates that would have started in the year, and they get you all and they book you into a nice lodge. And you don't, you stay at a lodge and you are driven to Greenside every day to do your blasting. But because Ngumaqinasi, I said I want to do this. So by March, April, I was at CTC. And because I was alone, I stayed at Tarain. It's Tarain, the hostel. So everyone knows those peanut butter sandwiches, ne? Those peanut butter sandwiches are so heavy, we used to call them tamping. The tamping that you use to stop your shot holes for the explosives. And I actually enjoyed those, George. I'm like you again. I also like the peanut butter sandwiches. I also enjoyed those. And my first day there, you're supposed to introduce yourself. I stood in front of the class. One of the lecturers, I forgot his name, I think it was Shane. Ne? And then I said, I'm Nozipo Dlamini, fresh from the University of Pretoria, and I'm learning to be a miner. It's like, first of all, here, there's no university anything. By the way, you're on feeder breaker duty today. So those of you guys who know feeder breaker duty, there's no feeder breaker at CTC. You are the feeder breaker. They give you a big hammer, and there's a grid, and you're supposed to smack that piece of coal until it goes through the grid. So my punishment for declaring that I was a graduate was that I'm on feeder breaker duty. But that's exactly how life turned out to be. Your qualification only gets you through the door, but the rest of that is your character. And whatever you bring with you, all the accolades actually mean nothing once you are in the industry. Great, you've got your degree, but now you need to have work ethic. Now you need to have resilience. Now you need to have tenacity. And those are all the other character skills that you wouldn't have learned at university. So what Shane saw as a punishment was a lesson in humility for me. To say, when you start working, it's about the people that you will be serving and the people that you'll be working with. It's got nothing to do with your qualifications. And I think to date, that has never changed in me. I still remain a humble leader. I still remain a servant instead of a person that wants to boss people around. Because through being a servant, that's when people actually want to follow you. So that was a great lesson for me. And so I've written... So I've written a few lessons that I've learned over time being in the industry and in my career that started, in the humble halls of CTC at Greenside. Surprisingly, I ended up being the mine manager of Greenside at some stage as well. But my humble beginnings that began there. And one of the lessons is what I've spoken about, to say your qualification and your skills can get you through the door, but at the end of the day, it's your character. I don't think even to date, I take my job for granted. That's why I'm nervous even now standing in front of you, because it's still nerve-wracking. I still respect the industry. I still respect my job. I still want to serve the industry. The second one for me was never stop learning. And I think this is the appropriate one then to talk about what I've done from an education perspective since I left CTC. So I was a miner, you work your long shifts, and someone had spoken about this Lean Six Sigma thing, and I'm like, what is this Lean Six Sigma? It's like, no, it's a way that we can make processes better. So I started Googling what this Lean Six Sigma is, and I saw that the University of Pretoria was offering quality management as one of the honors programs. And part of it was learning about process management and how to improve things. Because I was like, clearly in mining, surely there has to be better, easier ways to do things. So then I signed up, and after that I did my honors in technology management at the University of Pretoria, which was followed by a master's in technology management. And I was doing this while I was working as a miner, working as a shift boss. I would print out my notes, put them in my overall, go do the long shift in between. You find time to read the articles and read what you need to. But for me, I've never stopped learning. And as I grew in my career, each role I took on, I needed to know what are the foundations of this role. If I'm becoming a technical services manager, what does it mean? Because in technical services manager, there's rock engineering, there's environmental, there's business improvement, there's all of these things. So I wanted to know a little bit about each thing that I was doing. So I invested in my studies, and I think that's one of the things that I'd like to encourage everyone on, to say, don't take your brain for granted as well, because the world is moving, and if you're not moving with the new technologies that's coming, you will be stagnant, and you'll be one of those people that keep saying, back in my day, but back in your day is not relevant now. So keep learning, keep developing yourself. A couple of days ago, my diesel engineer was explaining why one LHD had stood for many, many days. So as he's talking and he's telling me all the symptoms of this machine, I'm typing. And then when he was done explaining, and I was like, have you checked this, and this? He's like, yeah, eventually when we fixed it, these are the things that we had fixed. But I'm like, how long did the fault finding take you? Oh, it took us about 3 days to find that was the problem. I'm like, it took me about 30 seconds. And he said, why, how? And I showed him ChatGPT. So imagine if he had actually put in the symptoms of this machine on ChatGPT, he would have bridged the time, 3 days worth of fault finding, and it would have gone straight to fixing. And that is the power that technology has got today. He was very scared. He's like, yo, this thing can replace me. I'm like, yeah, it just won't replace the artisan that needs to fix the machine. So to all the artisans, millwrights, the miners graduating today and getting their awards, ChatGPT won't replace you. It will replace the engineers and the managers. So give yourselves a round of applause. Because what innovation and technology is doing is that it's bridging the knowledge gap, but it still leaves room for you to implement, and that's where we fail as humans, right? If I ask you how many self-help books have you read? Christian, how many self-help books? 5 a.m. Club, Better Habits, Big Habits, Small Habits. We've read all of them, ne? Why do we still keep? Because they all say the same thing. The problem is bridging the gap with implementation. And that's the lesson here, to say we should use and take all of this technology and bridge the gap between us and doing what we need to do. The third lesson for me in this industry was to grow our emotional intelligence. At the end of the day, when you start working as a miner, as an artisan, as an auto electrician, whatever, you are working with people. And you as a person come very complex with all your biases and how you were raised, and that will cause you to have many triggers as you deal with people. You need to be self-aware, you need to understand those triggers. Emotional intelligence is the gap between the stimulus and how you react. So something pisses you off, how do you react? This in between is where emotional intelligence comes in. But it starts with you being self-aware. You will be working with people, unfortunately. I think I deal with about 20 people coming in and out of my office every single day. Everyone has problems. There's always going to be issues. You cannot be triggered by every single thing that comes through. You need to be the one that stays calm and solves the problems. And that starts with you developing your emotional intelligence. You will be working with people, stay humble, and treat people with respect. That's my third lesson. My fourth lesson is become a problem solver. There's a lot of people that can tell you what the problems are, but very few people can actually say, yes, we've seen this is a problem and this is what we think we can do about it. Boss, are you willing to sponsor this so we can try this out? So my encouragement to all of you guys who are graduating and getting your awards today is that when you start at industry, become a problem solver. Don't be the guy that points out what the problem is, but actually form part of the solution. And that starts with you taking ownership. Because as soon as you say the company belongs to Mr. Masike, I need to always say it's management. It's management. If that company fails, guess what? You are also unemployed. But if that company thrives, you also thrive. So actually put in the work to tell yourself that you are also a part owner of this business and make this business as successful as possible through problem solving. You know, just if you see something, go talk to somebody and you work at it and you fix it. And that's what is going to sustain our industry. And then our fifth one, it's actually got triggered by an article that I read on Friday, I think on Business Day. They say that South Africans now spend more money on gambling than we do on any other forms of entertainment. 191 billion per annum is what South Africans are spending on gambling. I have a friend who was a lawyer in the gambling industry. And the house is always going to win. That 191 billion that's spent, probably 190 billion of it is with the companies, and 1 billion has been in winnings. But what it also told me is that we have the power of 191 billion that can rotate in our own economy, and we are gambling in a way. Imagine what we could do with that 191 billion. So for me, it's the power of personal finance, and I spoke about this at a Sacra conference a couple of weeks ago to say, if there was one thing I wish someone had told me the first month I started working was to teach me how to handle money. I learned a lot later on, and I could be a lot further ahead if I had learned this skill earlier. So to you guys also graduating, don't try to keep up with people. Leave your, and the ladies in the bathroom now, we're talking about our two-piece. You know the CTC two-piece, the navy overall, ne? You know it, Kai? Oh, you don't know it? So we're talking about how we're so pretty, we don't recognize each other because we are used to seeing each other in the two-piece overalls, in the overalls. I used to come from CTC and I would take a taxi to Soweto on Fridays after we had done at CTC. And as soon as you enter Soweto, what you are wearing is unfamiliar. In Witbank, it's a status symbol to be wearing that. In Soweto, in Pretoria, it's the strangest thing, because where do you work? In a garden? But they don't know that where you come from, that means I'm employed. And what that taught me is, to certain people, you not keeping up with the trends and not looking trendy may seem like, you are below their standards, but actually, if you just maintain that, staying under the radar, staying within your means, in the long run, you are teaching yourself the best money habits that you can. So for me, that was going to be my last lesson, to say, take care of your money. One of the reasons for that is that we don't know what the industry holds. We don't know if ChatGPT will replace all of us, but at least now, while we are still gainfully employed, let's take care of our finances as much as possible. So in closing, there's a good story that I love. They talk about Chrysler, Walter Chrysler, who was the founder of Daimler Chrysler, the cars. If you remember, Chrysler, Peter Cruiser, that guy. Buick as well, the American vehicle. They say he went and he bought his first vehicle in 1908 at the automobile fanfare in Chicago. And he disassembled and rebuilt that car 40 times, up until he could rebuild it almost with his eyes closed. And only then he went and he started the big Daimler Chrysler Corporation that continues to make vehicles to date. If you could have that same kind of obsession about everything that is given in your hands to take care of, you will go a lot further. A lot of the people, artisans, miners, we just want to fix the problem, but no proper root cause, no obsession about why something happened. So if there's one piece of advice, it's just get obsessed with anything that's given to you to be responsible for, and you'll see that your career goes a long way. CTC, congratulations. And my cry and my call to action to the industry is that let's continue to support CTC. We know where the world is moving to. Let's reimagine what CTC could be in the next 60 years and actually help them to get to that place. It could be a sandbox. The kids have a sandbox where they can play with a whole lot of things and build and deconstruct. You build a sandcastle, you disassemble it again. CTC can become that for the industry, a place where we could come and safely test new technologies in a safe space. And we need to support you to do that. I love that you talk about the Artisan 4.0, because that's where the world is moving to. And I'm glad that you guys are already there. And there's also opportunities for strategic partnerships with all of industry, with Coltech, with universities, because we need to keep this institution going. So as an alumnus, I'm proud to say CTC gave me my start. As a leader, I am committed to making sure that we grow with CTC and we help CTC. And to the graduates, go forward with courage, be obsessed with what you are doing. The future is in your hands. And to the industry, let us invest and continue to support. Happy 60th anniversary, CTC, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nozipho Dlamini, Mine Manager, Thungela Green Side. You are indeed a shining example of what is possible. And to show you, ma'am, that I took heed of what you said, and in some of the lessons that you said you learned, problem solving, you said, was one of them. You identified a problem, which I'd like to take this opportunity now to fix and to repair. Ms. Nozipho Dlamini is a mining engineer with 17 years of technical and leadership experience in the coal mining sector. She started her career at Sasol Mining as a PIT in 2008. And that is also the year that she enrolled at CTC. She joined Anglo American in 2017, where she managed various open cast mines. She was the technical service manager at Greenside Colliery, leading a team of rock engineers, environmentalists, planners, geologists, and other technical experts at one of the country's most productive mines. She's currently the mine manager at Thungela Resources. Ms. Dlamini holds a B Engineering in Mining Engineering, along with honors and master's degrees in technology management, all obtained at the University of Pretoria. In addition to her studies at UP, she holds various postgraduate studies in business and climate change from Cambridge University in the UK and Yale School of Management qualification on corporate sustainability management. Sis Nosipho was the president of the South African Colliery Managers Association in 2022, a professional body for coal mining managers across the coal industry, and was the first, but not last, woman to hold this position in this organization's 44-year history. She sits, of course, she sits on various academic boards and is a certified director. Sis Nosipho, by the way, the sis is not on here. I keep adding it out of pure respect, okay? Sis Nosipho is passionate about empowering communities through education and skills development and has led Coal for Hope, which has donated over 2 million rand in the last 5 years to skills and empowerment programs in Witbank and Oorgies areas. She likes reading. I've got a second book coming out in October. She likes reading, hiking, keeping busy with hard work projects, and her garage is spending time with her family. Please give Sis Nosipho a big round of applause. I hope that restores our relationship, Nosipho. And you know what? I am actually glad you insisted we read that, because it's upon reading it that I have a greater appreciation for, one, why you wanted it read, and also you spoke so extensively about your humility. I can also appreciate why you wouldn't want to say it about yourself and rather it about you. So another round of applause. Thank you. And to welcome our next alumni, please join me and let's welcome Mr. Francois van Niekerk, who enrolled at CTC January 1981. The year that I was born. Don't calculate my age, stop right there. And is qualified as a fitter and turner July 1985 and is the owner of JV Equipment Suppliers, Mr. Francois van Niekerk. A big round of applause, please.
CTC management and staff and all the learners. As you know, you can feel my heart pumping, and that is out of excitement. I'm Francois van Niekerk. I'm born in 1962. I'm the owner of JV Equipment Suppliers for 22 years. I matriculated in Carolina High School in 1980. I enrolled in CTC in 1981, January. I played for IMGAR, it's Intermine Group Apprentice Rugby for CTC in 1984. In 1984 was also the Apprentice of the Year at CTC. I qualified as a fitter and turner in July 1985, that's 40 years ago. After 2 years of national service as a fitter and turner with an N5 and an A+ for hydraulics. Thanks for Alf Zimmerman, my instructor. As the previous guest has mentioned, the landscape has changed. And I'm so proud that I can stand here today and experience the landscape that's changed. I'm not here for the dignitaries. I'm here for the learners. I want to tell you something about the journey that's going to start the moment you qualify. About that, what you need and that what you want in life. That you what are going to get or not. If we go to the Minerals Council of South Africa, he reported that the total mining industry turnover valued for 2004 was 1 trillion rand. Which coal was a significant contributor. Mpumalanga is known as the coal belt. It's nice. You can drive through on a highway and you can see it. Mpumalanga is known as the coal belt of South Africa and accounts for approximately 80 to 83% of the country's coal production. Coal mining is a major employer in Mpumalanga, supporting about 5.2% of the province workforce. It contributes 86% to the national coal mining jobs. The coal mining industry in Mpumalanga is responsible for more than 20% of the GDP of Mpumalanga and 7% of the workforce. In 2024, South African coal industry is estimated to employ over 90,000 people directly and 3 to 4 upstream and downstream. So there's about 500,000 people from the coal industry. Let me tell you, I'm here for the learners, and I want to tell you, you're at the right place. You're at CTC. Because of my qualification at CTC, I was introduced to all mining houses and mines over the world. I'm very proud to say this, that we built the biggest and the latest OEM hydraulic excavators, overburden drills, drag lines, rope shovels, the biggest off-road trucks, and we maintained and we rebuilt them. We provided hydraulic and marine services to the oil and gas industry of the east coast of Africa. Because of my technical qualification at CTC, I've seen the world. I worked and consulted in Angola, Namibia, South Africa, Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Malawi, Tanzania, on all the mines, open cast and underground, and all the quarries, and all in the oil and gas and LNG. Because of my business, you as a learner want to travel. You have to travel. It's not just Witbank and the coal belt. There's so much more. You have to do it. First thing you have to do after you qualified, get a passport. Make sure when you get the call that you're ready. I was at Kuala Lumpur where I signed my first $6 million contract. I visited China, I visited Hong Kong, I visited Taiwan, Great Britain, France and Brazil for business. And then I enjoyed all their food and their music and their cultures. Made you richer. My biggest once-off order as Francois van Niekerk was 72 million by myself. That's ZAR, not dollars. I signed a $6 million OEM replacement supply contract with Vale, one of the international mining houses in the world. And that all from the boy from Brighton, from the farm. Yesterday when I recycled this in my house to the kids, I also started a little bit. So it's the same. I want to encourage you and I want to tell you that I never had a bicycle as a child. I rode matric at a candlelight. I only went to a restaurant when I was 19 years old. But because of that, because of what I started at the CTC in 1981 and qualified as a fitter and turner, and by the grace of the Lord, I could buy myself a mountain bike, a Land Cruiser, and my own Porsche. It was never a fairy tale. This morning I drove from Pretoria and there was a truck in front of me and I see at the back what Mr. Mandela said. It's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you stood up. I was sitting here today, it's not how many times you come halfway up. It's not how many times you get back to your knees. It's how many times you stood straight up with your chin up and your chest out. And let me tell you, it happens when you're in your darkest day. And when you're the furthest from home. I've been there. I've fallen in the darkest of Africa, I have to be on my knees. Because when you're on your knees, and you've got nothing you can do for yourself to save yourself, you zero your body. And when you zero your body, what you prayed for all your life, take over, the Holy Spirit. And what happens? Something happens and you start functioning and you go forward. So Mr. Mandela, has told us that long time ago. Please remember it. You have to believe in God. It is your choice in which God you want to believe. I don't discriminate against that. Even if you only believe in yourself, you have to believe. And you have to listen. You have to make yourself in your life a quiet place where you can listen what you prayed for. Because we pray, but we don't listen. So if we find that quiet place and we listen, it's working. You must have the guidance of the Holy Spirit. You must trust your gut feel. Where I was in my young life, somebody walked around a tree this way and I walked around a tree this way. My gut feel was there, his gut feel was there. I survived, he did not. So Mr. Learner, what you do and what you're planning and what you're feeling and what you're working, trust your gut feel. Trust your gut feel when you make friends. You will smell and see it, but then you have to listen. Because if you do not listen, it will be to no good for you. You must trust your gut feel and your aura when you meet to do business or work. And you must know when to turn away and when to greet. It is your choice. Your life is about choices from now on. You must listen carefully to hear the voice of the Holy Spirit. We all listen, but we all do not do. I just want to go on to my next tablet. I was young as you in 1981, and I'm just strong as you in 1981. I had all the dreams that you had in 81, and it's the same there. The landscape has changed. I see the landscape has changed, and I want to accredit CTC for changing the landscape in such a good way that we all can enjoy this. But I want to tell you, learner, it's your responsibility to be able and stable. And this is not a small talk. Your employer will not promote you. Your bank will not finance your car or your house. God will not reward you above and abundantly if you're not able and stable. So if you pray all your life and you get nothing, you must remember you're in a bad space. He's not going to send your money away. He's not going to throw it away. Be able and stable. It's your choice. Look after your health. I'm 63 years old. I don't drink one pill. I feel every morning I can go to the gym, but I don't. I love my golf. I like my food. I like my music. I like life. I like to be. So look after your health. Everything and everybody in life have an expiry date. That comes by itself. So don't worry about it. Don't predict it. Don't fight against it. Yesterday is the past. That's nice. Yesterday is the past. So what? Tomorrow. Tomorrow is the problem. Tomorrow you can do nothing about, but that is where you're starting to worry and to plan and don't know what to do. And before you find yourself, tomorrow takes you in a deep pit of depression where you can come out because you worry about tomorrow, but you can do nothing about it. So don't worry about tomorrow. You've got no control of it. Where we are currently counts. Give it all and do what makes you happy. If it doesn't make you happy, go. If a child is crying, he's not happy. What does he mom do? Makes him happy. So if you're not happy, go. Just go on with life. Nobody's gonna shoot you. You're gonna be much better off. Get a lifelong hobby. Don't work. I'm going to work for 60 and then I'm on pension. And I'm going to start playing golf and I'm going to start fishing and this and this and this. Why you want to work until you're going to die? Get a long life hobby. Make yourself happy. Wake up in the morning. Chip a couple of balls. Go and catch bass. I don't know what you guys just do. Get a lifelong hobby, which you can do. My golf trainer in Somerset West in the Cape, his oldest candidate to start playing golf is 92 years old. He's a German. So get a lifelong hobby. And most of all, and it's very important, you must be a leader, an example for your family. Always, don't leave it. Always call home. If you're late in a business meeting, if you're on the ground and struggle with the machine, if you're late in the change house, call home. I'm on my way. Don't let anybody worry. Call home. You are the breadwinner. You're the proud artisan and the learner official. Call home. Listen to good music. Listen to good music, please. Got that playlist in my man cave from AC/DC. No R&B, no others, but yeah, I've got it there. The whole rockers are with me there. So please, let's do that. And read. Don't just go on TikTok. Read. Read the Business Times. Read the Business Times. Read what's happening in the industry of copper. Read which is the next future, what is the next generation of mining. Read what is the bears doing in the world with the new technology on the diamond mine. Read where can you take your passport next week with your qualification. Promote your God and yourself and your family. I've got a book this thick. My ex-wife gave it to me, and I've been reading it for 8 years, every day. It's a religious book. And every day I write there. And one of the sayings that says to me is, pray it, say it, and do it. Make sure you make it right. It's very important now. We're all young, we're all beautiful, we're strong. Make the right choice in marriage. I ask you to walk around the block, to go and ask the pastor and the friends, make sure when you marry the right girl or guy. Please. Don't be clever. The Bible speaks of wise men, not clever men. And sometimes it's better to be one wise man rather than 3. Don't lend your ears out to the whole community. If you're the wise man, doesn't matter what your friend and your girlfriend and your uncle says. Mining frontiers has changed in the world. This is exciting for all of you. De Beers in Namibia has just commissioned a 384 ton underwater machine that, what I say, extract. That's the new thing for mining. It will change. It extracts the diamonds underwater. So what do they have? They have electricians, fitters, diesel mechanics, technicians and everything, but they just have something different. They have diving suits on. They have to go and repair it. So what is the mining frontiers has changed? To subsea, under the ice, and I'm telling you now, we're going to extract from space. With your qualification at CTC, you can be part of this. I'm giving you, this is it. If you go to Australia, if you walk into a bar in Britain, if you go to Brazil, if you go to New Zealand, there is a CTC qualified artisan there that leads the troop. I am proud of the learners who qualified at CTC in the last 60 years, and I'm also proud of those who's going to qualify in the next 60 years. Remember, the sky is the limit. We might meet in space one day while you're mining. I don't know. You must enjoy the ride. And be proud of yourself and overall while you're working with your hands as an artisan. God bless you all. And thank you, CTC, for another 60 years. Thank you.
Mr. Francois, may I please just say, that was an absolute masterclass in how it's done. That was indeed. Can I tell you, sir, you first took us on a nostalgic journey, talking about your journey coming on up, right? And then you gave us a little bit of a spiritual journey where there was reference to spiritual, the Bible, faith, and all that. And then there was the life journey where you shared a little bit about your personal life, but in there you also throw in making the right decision as far as throwing in a please, right? Which, without sharing too much, told us what we need to know. And then, as if that wasn't enough, like you hadn't ticked all the boxes, then you also threw in an aspirational element there by speaking of your successes unapologetically. Because, you know, in our culture, and by culture I mean South Africans, you know, we're taught to be overly humble to the point where you're a little bit embarrassed of doing well. So I'm so glad you put numbers to it and you said $6 million. Come on. You said 72 million rand. You said my own Porsche, baby. Listen, I don't know what you were looking for from that speech, but everyone was catered for in that one. So, sir, brilliantly delivered. Thank you so much. Plus, you put a lump in our throat when you got emotional as well. Yes, like Maniardia, man. You covered all the bases. Folks, listen, it is now time to get into our awards portion, and I'm going to invite Sis Kulile Shoba to come and help me administer this process. Now, ma'am, you will clarify how this is going to play out, but my understanding is our recipients are to assemble on one side. You will then be called up one by one. You will come onto the stage. Can I double check our photographer, sir? You let me know where the sweet spot is for the photo op, right? And then you will then align the stage. But ma'am, let me not take the wind out of your sails and ask you to please break it all down. A round of applause. I know it's the end of the day. Thank you. So just to explain the process in case you notice a moment of silence on stage, what we're doing is we're allowing all our recipients an opportunity to assemble in order so that by the time we start the awards process, it is nice and smooth and seamless, all right? So thank you for the background music, DJ.
To our distinguished guests, my graduates, I know you are excited, but can we walk in order and silence? Industry CEOs, industry leaders, industry associations, the chairman of the board, all CTC board members, CTC employees, CTC learners, organized labor, our proud CTC alumni, MC, all protocol observed. So today we are celebrating our trainees, those who completed their training in 2024 and have qualified in 2024. So actually it's not trainees, these are artisans and miners. So we are proud of their dedication and hard work they've shown throughout their programs, and today we celebrate their achievement. So we'll be presenting awards in 4 special categories. The first one is the Merit Award for learners who excel and meet all the criteria. On the engineering side, they passed their trade test on first attempt, and they were top performers in their class during their training phases. And the next category will recognize the best performing learners in each trade or discipline. And then we're gonna announce the trainees of the year, those who outperformed everyone in each category or discipline. And then finally, we also recognize our stakeholder training officers who support their learners, and they make our work easier. I'm going to request Mr. Elijah Kabinde, the manager, mechanical training, to come and join me on stage. So the first category of the awards on merit, it's boiler making. Ngwana Makongwane Madihlaba from Glencoe. Go down, sit down and collect your trophy and your certificate. Mateng Makua, boys and girls. Kuseleto Matuludi, Exaro Mata. Gundo Nengwekulu Safcom. Kulani Tobela Seriti MMS. The next category is diesel mechanic. Hachiso Bokale, 2 Rivers. Temba Kumalo, Exaro Mata. Otubate, Mafiri, Seriti, MMS. Wanakari, Macho, Seriti, MMS. Cyprien Maile, Exaro Mata. Morgan Matele Musa, Safco. Kuliso Matosi, Safco. Tulani Jangamandla, AEMFC. Tobani Shangase, Exaro Mata. Howard Simelane, Exaro Mata. The next category is mechanical fitters. Guguletu Terek Tungela Hulewo. Manibongo Auze Tungela Hulewo. Nombulelo Kumalo Leko. Batseba Mabokwane Tungela Hulewo. Monsekhalin Khedi Makua Boys and Girls. Paris Manche Boys and Girls. Litsela Manyaka Marula Platinum. Faithful Kopane Leko. The next category is millwright. Capello Masita Two Rivers. Benzane Tombeni Sunspray. Obru Peta Boys and Girls. Bashele Selala Boys and Girls. Given Deboka Tau Senvi. The next category is rigor. Promise Mabanga FLS Smith. Tepiso Mashilwane Sapi Godwane. Sibusiso Mhlanga Sapi Godwane. Sabelo Simelane Menopet Paula. The next category is electricians. Jones Nyalunga, please come join me on stage. Thank you, Mr. Kabinde. Jones Nyalunga is the acting manager, electrical training. Bongiwe Bunene, Eskom Kendall. Romile Mashinini, Eskom Hendrina. Rikodile Matati, Tungela Fulewo. Clement Mchimunye, Maseta, Exaromata. Tandega Masego, Exaromata. Tapero, Mashifane, Rumaining.
Simpiwe Mkwanazi Tungela for the work. Palabo Molive Eskom Kendall. Ramakhoto Mosita Boisendal. Winnie Motabela 2 Rivers. Sibusiso Sangweni, Exaro Belfast. Sunny Boy, Tulare, IPP Mining, Code Empowerment Project. Bongi Wetwala, Exaro Belfast. The next category is instrument mechanicians. Risepile Chilwane, Eskom Hendrina. Ngoma Mahlangu Tungela Isibonelo. Khalabde Makuwa Boisendal. Lipiane Malike Samanko WCF. Butivi Matsilele Tungela Isibonelo. Tapelo Matomane Boisendal. Nonkululeko Shabala Tungela Isibonelo. Ivy Sikosana Tungela Mafube. The next category is transportation electricians. Mponi Tati Pro IMT. Nedi Mahamba Deko. Caesar Maile Inayo Mining. Zakane Mkabela Siriti MMS. Danny Mkondo Boisendal. Matebele Moroto Boisendal. Tambule Molase Open Task. Rotondwa Ramatiti Exaro Trotrelet. JDM plays Prof IMT. Matroene Chabadi, boys and down. The next category is surface excavations. Manote Wangwa is a private student. Thank you, John. Miss Sitaka, please join me on stage. Miss Sitaka, she's the acting Mining and Mineral Processing Manager. Stefina Simanga Seriti Nyumba. Senamiso Umalo Sendli. The next category is underground mining. Katia Chauke Exaromata. Thabo Masike, CTC. Benedict Mnisi Chungela Zibulo. Babalwa Thabo Exaromata. The next category is called preparation. Simpiwe Masilela Exaromata. Kumlane, Ngame, Buena Mining, Dorsfontein West. Jamulelo, Munyangane, Kenyan Coal, Kenya Polaris. Nobile, Sambo, Denko, Twefontein. Some artisans were left behind. Madisela Ramela Exaro Belfast, mechanical fitter. And for electrician, Mfanzile Makakula Tungela Fodewo. Sibayega Mtembu Denko, transportation electrician. Matankuna Siriti MMS Riga. Thank you, SP. Thank you, ma'am. The next category is the best learner in the trade. So I'm going to call Shao Dubuisson, the General Manager of MMS, to come join me on stage, and Christian Tefo from Minerals Council, the Deputy Head in Techno Development, to join me on stage. The best learner in the Boilermaker trade is Puseleto Matuludi Exaro Matlas. The best diesel mechanic learner is Morgan Mantele Musa Safcom. The best millwright learner is Benzane Tombeni Sunspray. The best rigger is Tepiso Mashiroane Sapi Godwan. The The best instrument mechanician is Ivy Skosana Chungela Mafube. The best transportation electrician is Mpodi Tati Pro IMT. Thank you, Charles and Christian. Appreciate it. The next category is the coal preparation. I'm going to call on Mr. Lucky Mabuza, the General Manager of GTB, and Ms. Tamara Kwatekana, the General Manager of Mafube Coal, together to join me on stage. The learner of the year for basic coal preparation is Kimpiwe Masilela Exaro Mata. The learner of the year for advanced coal preparation is Mobile Sambo Denko Trefontaine. Thank you, Tamara and Mr. Mabuza. I'm going to call on the President of Sakia, Mr. Daryl Christie, and Mr. Zondo, the Deputy Chief Inspector of Mines, DMRP, to join me on stage. The Apprentice of the Year, who's the overall winner and surpasses all the artisans, is Benzane Mtombeni Sunspray. Name has sponsored the trophy. I'm going to ask for Mr. Johan Fenter, the former CEO of CTC, and Mr. Thabo Masike, the chairman of the board, to join me on stage. Thank you, Mr. Christie and Mr. Zondi. I'm going to request Mr. Titeti to join me on stage as well, General Manager. Exaro Mata, and Deputy President of SACMA. The best production miner of the year is Benedict Mnisi Chungela Zibulo. The best Lena Plaster of the year, surface excavations, is Malose Wangwa, the private student. Thank you so much. Last but not least, we recognize the external training officers that contributed into what we do, and they really put effort and energy into the students for them to succeed. We see them coming to CTC, checking on their learners on how they are doing and making sure that they are well looked after from the employer's point of view. I'm going to request Ma'am Dlamini, alumni, to join me on stage. Francois, please come join me on stage. So the engineering training officer of the year is Tina Ndowu from SAFCON. Officer of the year is Vusi Nkosi. Vusi Nkosi is not here. Oh, he went to the bathroom. Oh, there he is. Coming. Thank you, my alumni. We have reached the end of the prize giving. We congratulate all the prize winners. And I thank you.
And Sis Kulile, we want to thank you as well for running that portion of the program as magnificently as you have. Out of pure courtesy, I'm going to reintroduce to deliver our photo thanks. Please give a big round of applause for Mr. Darrell Christie. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a 60 year celebration and it's festive. If we reflect on the day quickly, I'll be really quick. We started off with an eagle. From there we went to working as a group, bologna, sandwiches with peanut butter in it, all the way from Porsches. But I'll stay with this and I'll repeat it at the end. We leave the best for last. So just keep it in the back of your mind. It's a great honor and with profound gratitude that I stand before you to give a vote of thanks to this truly magnificent occasion, the CTC 60 year celebration. Thank you, Mzila Mthenjane, for hosting us at this prestigious event. I think we can give her a round of applause. On behalf of CTC, we would firstly like to thank our keynote speakers, Mr. Mzila, the CEO of the Minerals Council, and Prof. Madonsela, the Chair of Social Justice at Stellenbosch University, and also former public protector. I think we heard it numerous times during the day today. Your presence and your powerful addresses were not only an honor, but also an incredible source of inspiration. To our speakers, Mr. Thabo Masike, for your opening address, Mr. Buterezi and Ms. Madonsela, for the introduction of our guest speakers, Mr. George Latten for the tribute address, our notable alumni, Ms. Gamini and Mr. Van Niekerk, for the inspirational testimonies. Your participation made this event truly special. And if we reflect 10 years from now, 70 year celebration, the request is that at least one of the students that went on stage today come back, give a testimony, and show the world what CTC is all about. We would also extend our sincere appreciation to the other distinguished guests and industry leaders who have joined us today. Your support and partnership are invaluable. A special thanks to Mr. Manas, Mr. Zondi, Deputy Chief Inspector of Mines, the entire CTC Board of Directors, the MQA representatives, organized labor, all the industry association and leaders that are present today. Let's give them a round of applause as well. Next up, to our entertainers. I believe all of you will agree that Mr. Robbie Collins took us on a journey full of laughter. Thank you for your comedy and your performance. Rehab Music Group, thank you for the excellent music during lunch. And then Prof, our MD, you have brought so much energy and life to the celebration. We salute you. Let's give them a hand of applause. We want to thank the venue, the Reach, for hosting and entertaining us with this wonderful event. Then we also want to our profound gratitude for the generous sponsors, Umpondu Meal Discounter, Boys and Cleaning, at 11 Guest House, Uhuru Big Bear, Ayagoi Guest House, TNT Guest House, Gadumo Guest House, Bedford, Gatsby Restaurant, IME. And if I've missed anyone, apologies. also as the previous speaker, all protocol observed. Thank you to the photographer and the recording of the event, Ryan and the GTK crew. We also want to thank the CTC organizing team under the leadership of Kutile Shobo, together with Maureen Sibaya, Zanege Zikaya, Prati Mashola, Yugante Roberts, Dudusega Thuli, and the team that contributed to make this function a success. Your efforts created the flawless and memorable experience for us. So let's give them a hand of applause. When I started, I said believe the best for last. So lastly and most importantly, a massive thank you to you, our esteemed guests, partners, CTC staff, alumni, students, award recipients, friends and the media. Your presence and support today are a testament that the enduring legacy of CTC and bright future lies ahead. I'll close with a quote my late father gave me during my study time. Education is the one thing that no one can take away from you. I thank you.
Mr. Darrell, thank you so much. Mr. Darrell shared that he happens to be a homeboy of mine from Kimberley, so by Dr. Milianos Vargera. That's how we do it back home. So thank you again, sir. Perhaps it's poetic that the toast happens to fall on as the last item of the program. So can I humbly ask that you ensure that your glasses are charged? And if you wouldn't mind, please indulge me by rising on your feet. Let's propose this toast. No rush at all, my good sir. Charge it accordingly. Make sure there's lots to celebrate. 60 years is no small feat. In fact, you know what? If you took that bottle, I wouldn't judge you. Oh, okay. For the after party then? Okay. Okay. Ladies and gents, to the incredible 60-year milestone, to our incredible award recipients and graduates, may you go on to achieve immeasurable success. May you come back to tell us all about it as our alumni have. To all of those who facilitate and create an environment that is conducive for the next generation to take the baton and to keep running, our deepest, utmost gratitude to you, to those who've taken off your day to come and celebrate this wonderful milestone with us. To all of you, I say drive safely, I say God bless, I say to another 60 times 60. Cheers. DJ, as you get ready to play us out with a tune, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for allowing me to be part of this wonderful program. My name is Prof.